Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the TheRantCastPodcast. Tonight you are joined by me, the Strange Bus, also known as Josh. You can find me at twitch.tv/thestrangebus. That's twitch.tv/thestrangebus. I am joined by my fellow host, Kurgan, also known as HeroQuest fans. That is twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans, twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. Excuse me. We have a great show for you guys tonight. So stick around. It's going to be great. We are at episode 27 of the Rantcast podcast. Hasbro has beans. Or Hasbro. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Hope you're all having a wonderful and warm night. Hope you're staying warm somewhere cold. Hope you've had a wonderful holiday and a great start to the new year. Kurgan, you are on. If you
Rantcast.
Get you turned up a little bit. Give me another powerful
Rantcast.
There we go. There we go.
Did I get it? All right,
Yeah.
my work here is done.
There you go.
Oh, wait a second. This is episode 26, not 27.
Are you sure? I thought episode 26 was last episode. So I can't even keep up because I'm missing episodes.
I think episode 26 was probably part of the layoffs at Hasbro.
Oh, so your last, because I thought I did episode 25. Oh my gosh, we're mixing up. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix it in post.
All right, we'll
That's
fix it in
what
post.
happens when I miss an episode. I come back and everything's all screwy. It's all messed up.
Yep.
Well, anyway.
Chill out, Dupwad. Yep.
Anyway, we're just skipping it. Welcome to episode 27.
I know we're not on site here, but glad to be glad to be back on the Rantcast with you.
Oh yeah, it's been busy. We had a pretty good holiday. Everything was kind of settling down. Now we just got all the stuff moved.
Cool.
When you have 4 kids, well, technically still 3 kids for Christmas, it kind of gets a little, I don't know, busy.
Yeah.
I was really surprised everything kind of fell into place the way it did. So, I was happy that we didn't have any real family drama and nothing really chaotic. Because usually, with Thanksgiving or Christmas, things kind of you get that either the one family member or the two that kind of start up a little spiciness. But nothing like that happened. I think the only thing that happened was I kind of had to hold my head in my hands because the grandma got the really expensive big play sets for the kids. So we're not talking like the ones that just kind of stand at your knee. We're talking like the huge Barbie dream house that's about 4 feet tall that I have to find space for. And my kids are going nuts over it, but it was setup time plus trying to find space for it, which I still haven't found a spot that's going to fit in the house for that place.
Barbie Dream House is such a status thing because, I mean, my sister was into Barbies, but the Barbie Dream House, it was so expensive. And because of that, so many dads just made one for their daughter, out of boards or cardboard or, and I even saw, I was at this thrift shop over the Christmas break, and there was a place that was selling one of the original Barbie Dream Houses, and it was made out of cardboard. And I was just dude, you could just make this. You don't have to spend, well, it was $150 in the 90s, so I hate to think of what it is now. But, I mean, that's definitely a show-off gift.
It's really weird because,
let me spoil you as hard as possible.
I remember some of the big doll houses. I don't know about Barbie dream houses, but I remember they used to have actual floors on the bottom. They used to have actual floor bottoms.
Yeah.
Now they're cut out, hollowed out. I don't know why that is.
So you just have to hover the pieces in place or something
No, so it looks like it has a floor on the a frame, but if I sit it down on the ground, the frame is there, but there's carpet. It just sits on my carpet.
Oh.
So
That's
everything's
kind
kind
of
of hollowed out for like I guess if you want to play at multiple angles. But I kind of miss the days when like your house, you like,
yeah.
I not
We
that
had
I
like
had
a
one, but like I used to like I had like the big play sets like the castles, and the only way you could play with them was one way because you had to open them
Fisher
up.
Price. Yeah, the Fisher
So
Price Castle and Dollhouse and like Firehouse. Like we had all those, and I'm pretty sure we got them all at like garage sales and stuff, or like
mhm.
thrift stores. But yeah, they were awesome. But you had to like it was like a suitcase. You had to open it up, and then you could put the dolls or the pieces inside, and then you could close it up, and you could try to carry them around. And of course, they would get like thrown around inside, and then you open it up and like, oh no, they all died.
Oh man,
Yeah. I
but
guess the
yeah,
biggest one that we had was the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters Firehouse.
the real,
My
not the
brother
fake
got,
one.
yeah, my brother got that. Well, yeah, it's funny because the real Ghostbusters were actually the ripoff. The original Ghostbusters was something totally different. The show about the gorilla and all that. But yeah, the Firehouse headquarters. It was like when he got that, I was like really jealous, like because I was like,
Oh man,
dang, you got the cool one. Rather than just thinking like, oh, this is a good thing. Now we can both play with it. It was just like, oh, but it's his. Silly ways that kids think.
them silly kids.
Yep, silly kids. Yeah,
All
play
right,
sets. It was like play sets and vehicles were the ones that we usually didn't get. We usually just got the other stuff, and you just make believe what it is. Like, okay, these pillows are Castle Grayskull or whatever, or these Legos are the Death Star. You know,
hey, we fixed it.
fixed it.
Kabooey.
Yeah, Rantcast.
So I'll correct myself. Welcome to episode 26.
Welcome to episode 26, and it's like your mouth is all like blurred and like
My
pixelated
my
with these fake lips.
thoughts on Keanu Reeves.
Sad
Um,
Keanu.
so yeah. Besides that, the holiday went pretty smooth. How was yours? How did everything go for you?
It was great. It was great. So I basically had like three different Christmas celebrations. So most years we try to all like as a family get together for one thing. So my siblings and their kids and my parents and I like all at once, but didn't happen this time. So instead it was just like hung out with my parents, did Christmas with them. Then I hung out with my sister and her husband and their kids. And then like a few days later, then we got together with my brother and his kids, and so yeah, it was pretty great. Um, I definitely did like the uncle like spoil the kids thing. Um, every year we try to like my sister will get this idea like we should have a more simple thing. Let's just you pick somebody on the list and you get them a gift and the random person gets it or just get them stuff for the kids and something small for the adults, not go crazy, but it never works. We just end up kind of doing whatever we want anyway. But it's good. I mean, I like the just like I really try to go all out on Halloween. I try to go all out on Christmas. I like getting stuff that people like really want, even if it's from a thrift store or something I made, but or just something that they really wanted for like a long time. And I definitely like we didn't get the snowy weather until later, but it was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Um, my grandma got sick, but she's getting better, so that was not as bad as it could have been. But yeah, it was. I definitely ate a lot of food and played a lot of games, and I had a blast.
Gained a lot of
Watched some good.
pounds, like me.
Yeah, definitely saw some good movies. I actually watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I know it's more of a Thanksgiving movie, but I watched that.
That's a movie
For
you can watch on any holiday event. I
you,
feel.
you absolutely can. You absolutely can. But it's definitely one of the greats. And I thought, I was like, oh, I was gonna watch Christmas Vacation on my parents' Roku, but it was like $9.95 or something. I'm just like, dang it.
Too expensive for your taste, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
too expensive. Well, I was thinking it's like, okay, this is the type of movie that you only watch once a year, but still like they collect that ching every time.
That is a
So
that is a staple in our family.
yeah, well, I was also thinking about the whole physical media thing, and it's like, okay, so you've got let's I know we're almost going into topics again. You know, Walmart, Best Buy, and Target all pledging to like phase out physical media completely for
Hmm.
their media. Not just DVDs, because at first you're like, oh, DVDs, yeah, whatever. You know, we'll still have Blu-rays. It's like, nope, Blu-rays are gone too. Oh, what about 4K? Oh, they're gone too. Oh, video games gone. You know, it's all just going to be digital stuff. I'm like, that sucks. So I was like, okay, well, all right, give me your list of favorite movies. Let's get them all. So I'm just like getting them. So I got my parents like their favorite movies. I picked up some for myself. You know, it's just like we just got like stacks of DVDs and Blu-rays, and you know, it's like movies that we always liked, we always wanted to buy, but it was never, oh, I should go out and buy this because it might be hard to find, and it
No,
might be like altered and all this stuff.
that sends me into a dark, like a dark topic. But like,
Sure.
they start phasing out media. Imagine what happens when they start phasing out more than that. Like, groceries can be
Yeah.
delivered. Eventually, when they start like, I mean, we already have like deliverable groceries, but they have the fee thing. Once they start like figuring out how to work out
Oh,
a better way to
like you
just
can't
have
go to
that
a
shit
grocery
delivered
store
to you,
anymore.
yeah, you just order what you want, pay the
Yeah.
taxes on it, and the taxes are included in the delivery fee. And then like, if they have a grocer that figures out how to pay the employee over the delivery fee, bam. I mean, I was thinking they'd do that during
Like self
COVID,
checkout.
but like they didn't do that. So, and like, who's gonna
Well, wait.
like that's gonna take over, and then we like you're gonna have
Well,
those days where you miss going to the grocery store.
I don't know about you, but I at
Mm. Oh, lost you a
actually.
little bit.
Uh-oh. Am I
You're
back?
back. Yeah, you're back.
Rantcast. Okay. Just got to say Rantcast and I'll come right back. Coming at you. Okay, so right at the beginning of COVID, when people were shut down, stuff like I actually would like my local grocery store had like pickup, but they had it before. Like they had it for like older people or like whatever, where you get your list and they shop it for you, and you just park your car and they just like put it in your trunk and you just like leave. So like I did that. Now, a few times, like the line was too long, so they actually like delivered it to my house, which was really weird because you're like, it's like ding dong, and you see like it looks like I hate the plastic sacks that they use because it looks like it's just a bunch of trash just arrived on your doorstep. It's like, oh, there's a bunch of like diapers and stuff. It's like, no, no, these are your groceries. Like, oh, okay, and then
Yeah.
okay, they got a couple of them wrong, but you know they didn't charge me for it, so fine. But like that
Elver
was you get used to that for a while, and then,
Elberg says I
but
was
yeah,
doing store pickup before COVID. I don't miss grocery store
yep.
shopping. The
I see. I love shopping because okay, it's true. They always say like don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry because you'll throw extra crap in your cart. That's true.
Yeah.
But a lot of times like okay, maybe not grocery shopping, but we always when I was a kid we called it window shopping, and I think that was my parents' way of saying like, listen, we're going to the store, but you're not going to talk me into buying you anything. Like it's not going to happen.
Hmm.
Is that you go to the store, you walk around for an hour, and then you go home, and you're like, okay, I just wasted an hour. No, actually, what I did was I convinced myself that I didn't need to buy any of this stuff, put it out of my mind, and I can just get on with my day rather than, oh man, I should go to the store and buy some stuff. It's like, actually, I've checked it out. I don't actually need it, or
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a
fit my
nice
budget.
staple.
Yeah.
That's something that I fail at almost every time. But like I do like the concept of still going to the store, and like I don't
Mhm.
mind ordering stuff because I do order stuff. Now we during COVID they would have groceries delivered to us, but I feel like I personally get complacent. So like if something like that
Yeah.
happens, and I start to get really lazy, and so I
Yeah.
like
It's like
going
self
out
checkout.
and
Like, oh
grabbing
yeah.
stuff that I need, and um.
Hmm.
But then again, I
Well,
I also live in an area where usually, unless it's a big supermarket or a big department store like like Walmart, um, we have shops here that aren't that busy. I mean, they get busy during lunch and stuff like that, but like
oh
or
yeah.
like dinner
There's
time.
hours you can
But
go where it's like
like they're
there's nobody
pretty
around.
well, yeah, they're pretty well, and like we have like sunshine stores. Like they close at night, like early
Hmm.
night. So, excuse me, one second. I had
Yeah,
sneezed.
yeah.
Sorry, but like they close early, and like
Jay and
you
Silent
know,
Bob are
so
there.
with Alberg here, who's talking about kind of like the anxiety of store shopping. I don't like crowds either. It's kind of the reason I stopped going to the fair, but um, I do like kind of going and like there's bakeries and stuff like that, like being able to smell that and like be around a lot of that stuff,
Oh yeah.
or meat
When I was a
markets and
kid,
stuff.
they
It's
had the
it's
free
amazing.
samples. Like you go in and you're just like, you could just try stuff. Like, oh yeah, I'll have a little piece of that, whatever it is, and like, I'm still not sure. I'm gonna have to try another piece. You know what? I really don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna come back. Pretty soon they're like, dude, just
Yeah, they shut
you've
you
eaten like
down
half
after
of it.
maybe the second one. Now they're like,
You've
mm-mm,
eaten like half of this stuff. Like, just
you
buy
can't
it
do
or
that no more.
nope,
You better
nope. They'll
just
call the
buy it
cops
at
on
that
you.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you got all that weird stuff where like you go into a store and like half the stuff is like in a cage and you got to get some employee to like unlock it for you. It's like, here's your eraser. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
cooperation.
but I do understand like the convenience of delivery is
Hmm.
nice, but um
I
I
just don't
just
want to
feel
pay the
like,
extra fee.
well, yeah,
Like my
those
cheap
like you've got
Netflix go.
Uber and DoorDash just have such a hold on it now with that fucking delivery
Well,
fee and stuff. It's
and,
just
and you
absurd.
could you could say that that was a lot of jobs for a lot of people. And then when people started going shopping again, then they lost that. But
Yeah.
then it's like, well, how do they make ends meet before that? I mean, you have to figure out something, but you just have to adapt. I don't know. I for a lot of things, I like just the experience of going and shopping. I'm not saying like I want to shop for hours and not buy anything, but it's like something you're going to do anyway, and it's more pleasant than just because it's like when they bring you this stuff. Yes, it's true. There's no temptations. It's all just exactly what you wanted. But you go to the store and sometimes you'll see like, wait a minute, this other alternative product is like marked way down, and it's the same. Like I'll just get that instead of the usual thing that I was gonna get. So like you
So
change your mind, or you see something that's like, oh, well, actually, it's not as good as I thought it was, so I'm just gonna scratch it off, and now I just save some money.
so to reply to Elberg there, and you can reply to this too. I don't usually go into a grocery store without a goal. I usually am
Oh yeah,
grabbing something, or I
yeah,
am. I usually go to a store that I'm usually pretty familiar with. Like I said, I have a grocery
mm,
store right in my backyard. Literally, the place
nice.
I live has one right in my backyard. I'm the place I pay for is, it's not paying for the nicety of the place I live in. It's the real estate. So literally,
Location.
there's two grocery stores. One is within 2 blocks from here, and the other one is in my backyard. And then the school to where my kids go to is literally across the street. So
See, that's really
it's
good.
it's
Because with the price of gas nowadays, it's like when I do my shopping, it's like
yeah.
I'll have enough stuff that's like I can justify going there because it's like, okay, the amount of gas I'm going to spend to get there,
But
and then it's
yes,
like it's like, okay, this store is next to this other store. That on the way back, it's like I'll hit this other store, and then I'll get it all done
yeah.
like
So
in a round.
to continue further on that, um, before where I lived at before, the trying to go somewhere to get to the grocery store, my issue was I I didn't want to have to travel somewhere and then have to like with his thing. Like my wife is a person who has, she likes to get all of her stuff all at once per the month. So it's like we are making an adventure to the grocery store, and I'm like, I don't want to do
Oh,
that. That's a long time.
yeah,
And then we have to go and do this and
so
then
you
do
get like
that.
four
So
gallons of milk or something like that kind of thing.
no, we don't need that much milk. Do have a lot
Okay,
of kids, but I don't go through that much milk. But yeah, like,
1 gallon
yeah.
per kid.
So but yeah, it's yeah, shopping and exploring to see what's on sale, or usually my wife looks at coupons. I say she's an old lady in a younger person's body. It's weird because she usually looks at like coupons or ads, or goes through stuff.
Yeah.
She'll check to see when like water is on sale, like
Wow.
because she'll
Yeah.
buy those big things of water, and like so she'll be like, "We gotta go to the store now. Water's on sale at this store for such and such." I'm like, "Okay." So you know,
Well, isn't that what they
usually,
teach you in like home economics? Is like you get the budget, you do the stuff,
yeah,
intelligent shopping and all this.
but I feel like now sales are kind of, it depends on the sale, right? I feel like sales are kind of like done with a markup anymore. So,
Well,
um,
yeah, it's like they raise
I'm
the
the
price and then
conspiracy.
lower it.
That's
Oh,
a
20%
conspiracy
off.
theory for me. But like, yeah, it really is. Like, especially
They
with
do. They
clothes.
do
Clothes
shave
are like is really really weird.
clothes,
But
yeah.
anyway, to kind of continue on our point here, so that we can get the rantcast rolling. I'm glad that you had a good holiday, and I hope everybody else, like I
Okay.
said before earlier, I hope you all had a good holiday. I hope everybody got what they wanted and needed from the Christmas and New Year season. Hope everybody, you could party. Hope you didn't party too hard. Hope you're responsible and stayed safe. Um, Going
Yeah.
into that here, because it's something that kind of happened. As I don't know if many of you guys know, I don't usually state where I live, but I do state the state that I'm in. I am in Iowa, so we have a town in Iowa, and since it happened here, kind of going down to a darker note, we don't usually state anything political or controversial here. We don't like to anyway, but
And we're
just because
not
it
doing
kind of
this for
happened.
clickbait.
No,
Just
no.
gotta acknowledge.
Just to
Yeah.
acknowledge it because it's something
Hmm.
that I did want to make note. Um, it's very common anymore, and it's very sad. There was a uh, school shooting that happened in Perry, Iowa, as of 7:40 a.m. this morning, and what was it? 7 people were shot. Um, I don't know
Six.
how many were confirmed dead or anything. I don't really want to get too
Six.
many
Yeah.
too into it, but
As of
like
developing
um,
story, but as of right now, yeah, 6 were shot, 1 killed. Not counting, of course, the shooter who committed suicide after
yeah.
trying to
So
kill a bunch of people.
So just to keep in mind, the reason this is brought up is to make sure that everybody is, keeping on your toes. Make sure you stay safe out there. Because it is kind of a weird time in this day and age, like with a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I have a family of my own, and
Hmm.
it's just weird because like it's always kind of been a dangerous world, but I feel like certain things escalate every now and then and get a little bit more dangerous. And uh however you spin it or believe it, the one true thing I think we should all believe in is that we should all kind of stick together, or at least you know stay aware and be safe, um and be mindful of each other. So um
Yeah, and
just
support each other
yeah.
through things like
So
this.
just keeping note there, because there has been a routine or trend of events for stuff like that in the last couple of years, and it's not a happy trend at all. Um, but just wanted to bring that into the light. Um,
Yeah.
on another note, there was before before I get into that, Curtin, do you have anything off topic you want to bring up for our
Um,
listeners?
I have plenty of on-topic things, so I'll just
Okay,
no, I don't have anything
okay,
really that I
because
particularly wanted to bring up.
we'll bring that up, and then
Go
we'll
on.
go ahead and we'll start on the Hasbro sad hour,
Hasbro Sat Hour. Yeah.
because to me it's no longer the power hour. We're gonna or
Yeah.
or I mean,
I think
actually,
the
I could just call it, the the Hero Quest
Stop!
power. Oh wait, what? But it is the Hero
Stop!
Quest. Oh,
stop.
it's the Hasbro sad hour now. I'm being corrected. The people up top are saying it's the. Anyway, um, another big topic that is, if you don't follow any current events or news, another thing on my list was, I guess they released the what? How many years has it been for Mr. Epstein? But his documents were released as of yesterday, the other day.
Yeah, I've
So
been hinting at it for a long time, but finally, well, there's
so,
a few redactions on the list. It's not complete, but
but
it's a lot more complete than it ever was publicly.
yeah. So if you're curious at all, you can find a couple resourceful links that will kind of give you a 943-page document.
Yeah, it was
Um,
5 years ago.
yeah, that will follow interviews and give you names and stuff like that if you're that sort of person. I did some dabbling out of curiosity myself, but that's about all I'm going to bring up for off-topic events. Now,
Yeah.
Kurgan, you can kick us off with the Power Hour.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, we may have peaked as far as HeroQuest goes, and I'm sad to say it. Like, it's weird because I don't feel like when we got to this point in so many other franchises, like with Star Trek, like I was just disappointed. I felt like, you know, very betrayed. And then with Star Wars, I felt like hollow inside, and depressed about it. Whereas with HeroQuest, I'm just kind of like, I'm surprised that it lasted this long. So I don't mean to be a huge downer, but it feels like HeroQuest, it was very active on social media as much as it could be. At the Avalon Hill Discord and X and Instagram. I mean, people were sending me stuff. Videos were coming out. I was on vacation, so I was watching Amalgamash and Always Bored, Never Boring. Like, those guys were updating, like, constantly. Like, every little thing that would happen, which is what I like to do. I like to, but not because I feel like to be a fan of this game, I have to have, like, constant stimulation. I have to constantly be throwing new products at me. But it was just exciting because it seemed like everything was on the right track. Like, every time something came out, it was good news. It was some improvement, some, you know, opportunity or inspiration. But now it's like it just all kind of ground to a halt. So we don't know who the new leadership is going to be in Avalon Hill. We don't know if they're going to have leadership. We don't know what's going to happen for future products. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's just kind of quiet and dull right now. I mean, the fans are still making content like they always have. People are still playing the game, having a good time. That's never going to change. But this like growth spurt that we got in the community, I'm kind of wondering, is that just going to stop? Are people going to be like, wait a minute, I thought a whole bunch of new HeroQuest stuff was coming out. I guess not. I guess I'm going to leave and go somewhere else. At the same time, they've created all these expansions and things, and it's like maybe they're thinking, well, we can coast on that for a while. So one thing that was sent to me, Zavvi, which is spelled ZAVVI.com, which is like the UK distributor for the Hasbro HeroQuest products, is having a 50% off sale. And I know that sounds like a marketing ploy or clickbait, but let's think about that. 50% off. That almost sounds like liquidation to me. So
Might be
if it is,
dissolving.
yeah, they might be getting rid of their stock because maybe they're trying to trim the fat. They had those massive layoffs, and I mean, there's so many videos. Like, if you go on YouTube, and it's usually like the same people. Like, they'll be going to like stores like Ollie's, and showing like the huge piles of unsold action figures, and it's like, yeah, there's a reason why this is happening. Like, stuff isn't selling. Speaking of that, I was so jealous of those people, the Ollie's people. I finally found an Ollie's store. I had to drive like a long ways to get there, but I went in and it was like pretty sweet. They had like a lot of overstock stuff. But it was funny because as I was walking through like the action figure section, there was like parents like shopping, and they're just like, my kids don't want any of these. Like, where's Spider-Man? And it's like, this is dumb. And I was like, it's like, these are the, another movie I watched recently again was Jingle All the Way, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was like everybody's looking for Turbo Man and nobody wants Booster. Like, every time they see Booster, the sidekick character, they're like, nobody wants you, nobody likes you, and they're like
Get
throwing him
out
on
of
the ground
here!
and beating the guy up that's dressed in the costume. It's just like, yeah, a lot of boosters on the shelves, and a lot of unsold Monopoly boxes too.
But
Not
okay,
classic Monopoly, but
so question for you, and
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt. And this is for
yeah,
Elverg, because Elverg made the statement too. That's not just
sure.
HeroQuest exclusively, though for ZV. That's just a new year. Stores can't keep a stock of everything all the time. But here's a question for both of you: do you think that, and not now, maybe not quite anytime this year, but do you think they might start either liquidating or dissolving Avalon Hill?
I hope they don't do it, but I mean, the
Because has
way the
anybody been
way
replaced, or has any employees been
we
looked
don't
at?
know.
Is there any hiring?
I mean, if the
Okay.
brand has value, they'll keep it. But for all intents and purposes, the way I understood it is Avalon Hill is not like Wizards of the Coast. Like they don't have. Well, maybe they do have their own building.
Do you think they'll get bought out?
Yeah, it just seems it's more like a department. You know, it's like a banner hung over some offices. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that, but that was the impression I got, as opposed to Wizards of the Coast, where it was its own separate company, all its own structure and leadership, and it had all its own, and then they just got bought out. So it's just like, oh yeah, keep doing what you're doing and just report back to us every so often. Like I don't know,
The reason I
I think
ask, the reason I
they
ask
could
is,
get rid of it, but there probably isn't a lot of overhead,
well,
so
the
maybe
reason
it
I
wouldn't
ask
make sense. Yeah, go
is
ahead. Go ahead.
is because we have, um, in business and a lot with video games as well, as usually when a publisher, um, buys a developer or buys a smaller company, and they either stop making money or, they do something similar to this. Um, usually they merge. There's a merger done between two smaller companies. They usually get bought out by another company, either third party or, um, and that's what I'm saying is like, uh, and I don't know. That's what I'm saying is like we've had a lot of big names though, Elberg, and that's what I'm saying is like, um, right now we're looking at BioWare recently, and that was something I was going to bring up with you. BioWare's
Hmm.
close to getting the axe here really soon.
Oh wow.
And that's
Oh,
speculation, but like from how they're looking at it, because there was a lot of huge layoffs in video games this year too. And I think it was BioWare that had a huge number of layoffs, bonuses, and incentives that were cut.
I'm
So
glad you brought that up because I think a lot of people, when you talk about toys and board games, but people always say the conventional wisdom is, oh, well, the reason that stuff is dying out is because people want digital, people want video games. But then here we're looking at that industry and they're cutting people too.
yeah,
So it's
so
not
like,
just
and
physical things.
BioWare is currently in, I think they're the ones who are still doing the Old Republic. They were in the midst of doing a new video game. Now I could have this wrong. I'm not, like I said, we here at the Rantcast just shoot the shit, right? I don't like to be the guy who has to report on every new thing all the time. I also have different things going on in life. So that's why I tell people you're always welcome to come up and correct me. You're always welcome to join the podcast. That's not doing
Yeah.
the work for me. That's speaking your opinion or bringing fact into our podcast, because at that point, um, we're here to entertain you, but we're also here to bring the community together in that point. So, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that this happens in video games also tenfold. Like I said, there's a lot of companies right now that not only got cutoffs, but they got their incentives cut. They had crunch on top of that, and then they also had like, um, not just layoffs, but some people just downright said, "Fuck that, I'm out."
Just quit.
And just, yeah, just ended up quitting.
Hmm.
And with that, when that happens, you don't have enough people to withhold the company or the development company. And like I said, it's different with toys, right? Avalon Hill is their own name, but they do still hang under the Hasbro umbrella. Like, BioWare hangs under the EA umbrella, and EA is notorious for eating companies up. The Dead Space developers are no longer around for that reason. I think you'll ever
Wow.
see BioWare or their IPs disappear. Like I said, man, I didn't think I'd
Well,
see Insomniac go either. But
so I'd never even heard of Avalon Hill, to be honest with you. I'd never even heard of them before the HeroQuest remake thing. And you could say, well, that's because I was out of touch with the board game community this whole time. I mean, board games to me were like chess, Monopoly, Candyland, Life, that type of stuff. Like I wasn't up on all of it, but I mean, I keep running into like thrift stores or like people give me gifts of like Avalon Hill games from like before. It's like I've never heard of this game. Now that doesn't mean all their games are obscure, but they made like tons of games that nobody's ever heard of anymore. Now, the one I played on my stream recently was called Sword and Skull. That's 2005, so that's after Hasbro bought them out. But I'm not sure if Wizards of the Coast at the time was part of them or not. But I don't know. It's kind of a complicated history. But yeah, when you get these companies where they're just buying stuff up, they're like buying everything up. Yeah, EA is like that. Disney, Hasbro. It's like you get that stuff for a reason. One, you're either trying to get rid of your competition. Two, you're trying to get those assets so that you can, have these valuable brands that you can keep using. But if you don't manage them well, it's like it's hurting you. You're losing money. So I don't know if that's what's happening with these big conglomerates. Because a lot of times, don't they just like cut them loose? Like if Hasbro
Um,
was really in trouble, they could just say, "Okay, Wizards of the Coast, you're independent now." I don't know if
no,
they could do that with Avalon Hill because
I
they haven't
I
been
don't know.
independent for so long.
With that, I don't know because it's usually, like I said, most of the time I've spent with bigger companies has been with video games or with like entertainment mediums. Like so, like
Hmm.
you'd have like people who did art, like graphic design, and usually it's kind of the same role. It's just done a little bit differently. So you'd be looking at if they're owned by a bigger company, or if, let's say for like in my so I can explain it better in video games, if it's a publisher and a developer, which the publisher usually is the funding. Let's say if the developer makes flop after flop, or makes a great game and then like couple floppy ones, depending on the publisher. Sometimes the publisher will say, "Look, we can't afford to keep you going," and they'll just dissolve them. They don't hand them out to another company, or they're not like they don't make them independent. Sometimes they do, where well they'll go ahead and pitch to other companies, but I think that's while they're under the same umbrella. So like for example, while they're working on said game or finishing up, they will be writing concepts for many other games. It's like writing scripts and like designing like small slices, like prototypes, and presenting them to other publishers or bigger publishers. Because then if they're under that contract to where they're going to be up or dissolved, they could get picked up by another big company. So I mean, it's kind of just depends, but a lot of the time they're like with BioWare's situation, I feel like they would just be presenting ideas to EA at that point because it also depends on what their contract is and stuff as well. So
Hmm.
a lot of the times, yeah, they'll just die off, and that's yeah, like you said before, they sometimes do get cut loose and then they just die off. I think with like it depends on how much money they have, if they can afford to keep going, you know, like how
Yeah.
much funding or resources has been put into the company.
Well, I guess my point earlier was not to sound like an ad, but if you were on the fence about getting the HeroQuest remake, maybe now's the time to get it.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, if you
because
can
it's like
find a good
half
deal.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like I remember 2 Christmases ago, Best Buy had like all these Games Workshop games, and they were like really expensive. I'm like, no one's gonna buy this. After Christmas, 50% off. It's like, okay, well maybe now you're talking. So I got a couple, even though I didn't really, it wasn't like a gotta have it kind of thing. But I mean, this is like they're selling HeroQuest for almost for the prices that it was back in the day. Like it's like wow, get it for 50 instead of 100, or 150. So
Yeah, the IPs aren't gonna
if,
go away, but the
if it
the
becomes
the
a collector's
devs
item
do
again,
get dissolved eventually. Like like I said,
yeah,
Insomniac
if
is no longer around, but
yeah.
Dead Space is around, and Dead Space just got remade not too long ago.
Well, with
Or
a board game, you don't have to maintain like servers and all this other stuff. I mean, I
no,
guess there's the companion app, so I guess they just have like a download on the app store.
but no,
But
just for
other than that, it's just stuff on the store shelf.
for the point here is like, or for like Dead Rising, right? I think that's Capcom. The devs who made that game were literally just put on just to make Dead Rising, and they tried to get away from that, and eventually they were just dissolved as well. If I remember right.
So just like a
But Dead
temp.
Rising is still gonna be there. They're still owned by Capcom.
Well,
The
yeah,
IPs aren't gonna go away, but
they
the
can
companies
still
can
sell
get
the game.
fucking eaten up. Yeah, like um, there were a
It's like
lot of
print on
companies that have
demand.
been picked up. Hold on a second,
Yeah,
because I've
Capcom, right?
um
NBA Jam. Oh yeah.
So like, let me see. Yeah, so like BioWare's
Oh,
still
you worked,
going, but one of
Berg. You
their
worked for Acclaim. I thought they just licensed it. I didn't know that they actually owned it.
hmm?
NBA Jam or Midway.
You worked for Acclaim briefly.
Wow.
Didn't they make what's that? The Suffering? That was like one of my favorite games. I loved that game back in the day. That was awesome.
Neat.
Yeah,
I
but
always wanted to work for a game company. Never did.
Pandemic, who made like the original Battlefront and Battlefront 2, they're gone. They were owned by BA or EA, BA, EA. Maxis is gone, but The Sims is still going.
Oh, Maxis.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, like
that's true.
parts of BioWare are gone, like BioWare Montreal, which I think was opened by EA. Mythic Entertainment, Bullfrog Productions. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah,
I
Visceral. Yeah, like a lot of big
I mean,
companies and
I'm not gonna argue with Berg since he worked for them, but I had always thought that Acclaim licensed, like that's what they did with console games. Like, a game would come out in arcades, but then when it was on home systems, it would be some other company. So like Double Dragon was Taito, but then on home systems it was Tradewest. Tradewest didn't make the game; they just licensed it from Taito. But okay, I thought it was just like because there was Bally Midway, and then there was Midway Games, and then there was Williams Entertainment. But
well,
just because, of
wasn't the game in Grandma's Boy like real? Um,
course, you can't
because
trust everything you read on Wikipedia.
no, but it was made by a dev from Terminal Reality, I think.
Grandma's Boy. No, I'm not familiar with it. Well, I'm not saying they didn't develop games. I'm just saying, like, did Acclaim actually own Midway, or did they just license games for consoles from Midway? I'm not saying you can't be both, but there's a lot of companies out there where they develop games, but then someone else licenses them. Oh, okay. Got him. No, I don't know. I mean, I have a basic level of knowledge, but I mean, yeah, like Strange Bus was saying, I mean, I'm not right about everything, and if you can, you know, destroy me with facts and logic, that's cool too.
Yeah, the game from Grandma's Boy Demonic, that was an actual game. Well, it was a canceled game. Which is so weird.
So, what do you think about Henry Cavill making a Warhammer movie?
I don't know how I feel about that. That guy is like he's been like the nerd mascot for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
And
didn't
then
people
like
hate him for a while? Like they kicked him off The Witcher and forgot all about him, and Superman was like
no,
nobody
I think
wanted to
he
see that anymore.
left. I think he left The Witcher.
Oh, he did it himself. He didn't want to be
Yeah,
part of it anymore.
because of what they were doing to it. Yeah, because like I think after the second season
Oh,
or something,
okay.
they just stopped following the storyline. They're like
Well, I kind of remember.
the
Yeah.
people who are writing it are
Okay.
just like, yeah, we're not doing the game. We're just like we're not doing the lore. We're just gonna do our own thing. He was like, what?
And he was
He
and
was
he was
like,
such
that
a
game
nerd,
is
and he had so much money he could actually walk away from it and
well,
say, "Screw you
yeah, he
guys."
had no say because he offered to work with them on it, but like it's kind of like the people who did like I was talking about with Star Wars, like Kenobi, the guy who played the Grand Inquisitor was asked to play. He offered to do it and then did no research on the guy. Just decided, oh, I'm gonna play the Grand Inquisitor the way I want to play him. Well, okay, that's okay, but like at least have some backstory in your character because
Mm.
like yeah, you give your character no soul by doing that. Like
Yeah,
it's
because
okay
you
to put
you
your
do.
own spin on things, but like it's really bad if you just decide not to read up on like The Witcher and then do a show
I
called The Witcher.
I agree because you hear that a lot from different productions where they say, "Well, he deliberately didn't learn about the previous ones so that he wouldn't be biased," but it was just like, no, do that research and then decide. Okay, there's that interpretation. I'm gonna have this other interpretation of the character. Yeah, and you fill it out, and yeah, it's not just going to be something soulless, like you said. I mean, it's well said.
Take a page from Shia LaBeouf, and that's really awful saying that, but like that guy method acted everything he did, but like
Yeah,
he
he saw
researched
something he wanted
everything.
to do, and he just do
Yeah.
it.
Yep. So like if you're gonna do method acting, at least do it correctly, I guess. I
I
don't know. Like I'm not an
yeah,
actor, but like I feel like sometimes they get a little
I've
too
been an
artsy
actor.
fartsy with shit. Like
Yeah, I'm glad I was never like a TV actor or a Hollywood actor, because yeah, that stuff kind of scares me, because it's like people ruin their health and they do like stupid stuff. It's like you don't have to be you don't have to be that person. Just pretend to be that person. Like that's what I know. It just
I think I was in a
yeah, I don't
couple
know. It just,
movies when I was younger, like a couple of like indie films. But I don't know if they're still on YouTube. I
okay.
think the
Yeah, I
guy.
was just on the stage.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, nothing major. Not a big deal. So Warhammer starring Henry Cavill. Oh, he's starring in it. He's not just backing it. Games Workshop and Amazon Studios. Oh, Amazon Studios. Well, considering how well they handled Lord of the Rings, I don't know about this, but whatever. I mean, you had that Halo series that everyone hated, but I don't even, who made that? I don't even remember. It was like everyone was talking about it and then it just vanished.
I can't remember because like it was announced like forever ago, but it was by another company, and I was that's what I was excited about, and then it never got released, and then they announced it, um, and then it turned out to be something awful, I guess.
The Halo TV show. Oh, it's Paramount Plus,
Yeah.
but who made it? Yeah, like Master Chief was like this little guy. I was like, what? And the motivations of everybody was different. The history was different. If they could just have made like a funny like combat show about people running each other run each other over with warthogs. I mean, that's what people want to see.
Too early. 10 years from now, we'll be talking about the Warhammer movie that was never made. Hey, that can be true.
Back then, or in the future, we'll have just AI Henry Cavill will just come to your house and he'll just act it out for you.
He'll just do the entire thing for you.
Yeah, the one man show. Yeah, it was Paramount Plus, so Showtime Networks. Oh, 343 Industries was involved, but I guess the days when people thought they could do no wrong are long past. Let's see, Amblin
It's all
Television,
just
Chapter
ambition.
11, and One Big Picture. Doesn't tell me much. Steven Spielberg was involved in the Halo TV show. Dang.
Oh boy.
He drank a cup of coffee on set. That's probably what happened.
And
And then
said, good enough.
yeah, he drank half the cup. He dropped it on the floor, and then he was like, clean that up, and then he just like left, and then collected his money, and he was gone. Or who knows? Maybe he tried to do something. I mean, George Lucas was on the set of Solo. Supposedly, he and
Yeah,
I
do you know
almost
what
said
he did?
Opie.
He just
Ron Howard had a
watched.
great time. Yeah, he was just like,
That's
oh, this isn't how I would have done it.
Yep, he just got to watch. That was it. That's all he got to do was fucking watch.
Speaking of like consultants not being listened to, everybody's probably like you've probably seen this. Have you watched any of the Lord of the Rings making of stuff with Peter Jackson?
No,
Like
well,
they have
maybe a long time ago.
a long time ago. Well, there's the famous scene where okay, so hopefully it's not spoilers for anybody at this stage, but Return of the King, the death of Saruman. So Christopher Lee is like telling him like in the scene where he gets stabbed and he was supposed to go like ah or something, and he's like, you know, that's not the sound a person would who was stabbed in the back would make. It's like, well, I've never heard that sound. Well, but I have. He's like, what? So so Christopher Lee is like, no, this is what it sounds like because all the wind is being knocked out of your body. So they did this whole big thing with the scene, and then it was cut from the movie. and he was pissed. So they put it in the extended version, the whole scene where they go back to Isengard and Orthanc, and you see him die and all that stuff. So they put it back into the extended version, but apparently like Christopher Lee was not speaking to him. But I guess they made it up when The Hobbit came out because he got him back to like do a few scenes for that. Good old Christopher Lee. But don't mess with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you may have done theater, but I was in one of the best indie zombie films ever made.
Oh wow.
I say that with so much sarcasm. I was in a film
Oh
called The Hold, and it was 10 years ago. I was 21 years
wow.
old. Yep, I played an army guy
Famous.
with long hair.
Sweet. I would have loved to do something like that. So you got one over on me.
If you guys are ever on YouTube, just look up The Hold.
HOLD.
Yep.
I suppose you don't
Here,
have the right. We can't just like show that
I probably
scene.
can because his YouTube channel, I think he sold it off to somebody called Knox, or he renamed it.
He
Because
owns your image now.
he does music videos. He doesn't do uh stuff like that anymore. So, but if you notice in like the
Here
first
it is.
2 minutes,
The whole.
yeah, I'm
Should I link it for everybody?
yeah, if you want to.
Does this clip need any setup?
I was 21 years old. Just keep that in mind. Um,
Wow, young
if you
young
can
buck.
if you can pick me out, you can pick me out. But it was an indie film from very young people, and yeah,
This was during the zombie craze. Like this was like hot stuff.
yes, it was. I
Oh,
didn't sleep.
oh,
I did not
are
sleep
you right
the
in the
entire
beginning?
day.
Are you right
Um,
at the beginning?
yeah, I'm in the first 2 minutes. So if you check me out,
Oh,
and
good.
then I'm there the entire time. But like, yeah, I'm in the entire zombie scenes. So yeah, I'm the guy with horrible hat hair because the wind was blowing my hair up the entire time. I also hadn't slept for longer than a day at the time, and I wasn't used to not having that much sleep. So I just
Method
looked
actor.
like garbage. Yeah, that was my method acting. Was
Do it.
like garbage the entire time. It was awful.
Now, now in this movie, do you play a guy in a talk show that like cuts the other guy's throat because he interrupts him too often? Like,
No,
it's a method actor.
no. I just
Pays
remember
a couple army.
yelling. I yelled a lot, and that was it. I just remember yelling a lot, and then I get eaten.
Oh, way to spoil it.
But oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was supposed to be suspenseful. The guy who did the, I think his name is Connor, but he had a lot of people who did makeup and stuff. He was really ambitious, so he did a good job. Um, but it was just a lot of younger people, so some of the stuff
Oh,
was
you,
just
you guys
subpar.
look like you're having a great time, just running around, spitting
It was
blood.
it was over 100 degrees, and I was in
Oh,
a lot of army gear. I was sweating my ass off the entire time because I was in that gear for
yep.
probably the
There
whole
you are.
day. Yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, the hair.
black
Not bad.
Nikes. What about black Nikes? I mean, here I'll show my face in case you don't remember what I look like. But I'm pretty sure everybody here knows what I look like. I have more hair there than I do now. So
You look like,
no, I'm
well,
in
at least
I'm in tactical
yeah,
gear. So
yeah. You're like Harry Potter if he had a really, really bad day.
yeah, and I look really young. So
Whippersnapper. Still though, I mean, like this is like way better than anything I could have ever done at that time
might have been.
in
I
my
guess
life.
I might have been wearing black Nikes. I don't remember, dude. I don't remember what my shoes look like. Hold on.
I haven't seen your shoes yet, so they've been
Yeah,
kept out of frame.
what a podcast this is.
There you are. There's your close up. Yeah. Okay, so 3 minutes and 45 seconds if you're watching the video.
Oh yeah.
Our boy, our man. There
Yeah,
he is.
You definitely tell my serious face. There's my serious
All
face.
this time I was talking to a millionaire.
Yeah, that's my serious face. I can. Oh, is that the main camera? There it is. There's my serious face. That's me.
Well,
You can just look at the
last
screen.
thing,
That's
last thing he says
that's
before he dies is "Rantcast."
that's me.
Yep.
That's what I look like in full on acting form. Uh, that's me pre 4 kids and not losing my hair. I look great. Wonderful. And I
Yep.
had sideburns up the wazoo because I guess that was the thing back then.
Oh yeah,
All
definitely
right,
was.
that's a great trip down memory lane.
Rantcast, memory cast.
Yes, memory cast.
See, this is a whole side of you I
Okay,
didn't know about.
so
Oh,
I had long hair, but I don't know if I got my hair cut or if it's just the fact that like the wind had my hair. Like, cause I was the guy had me try out like hats, and it, like I said, it was over 100 degrees. I straightened my hair back in like high school, prior to high school, because I had curly hair. So imagine straightening your hair
oh
when you had
yeah.
really long, thick hair, and then like it being like 100 degrees, and it just like my hair was just gross. I was gross. I was covered in dirt, and it was just poofy. It was just waving in the thing. So yeah, I probably misconceptualized it by saying long hair, but like I had like a skater cut for the longest time, and it was not it was not good. I That just makes me look like Opie because it's all over the place. I just had horrible hat hair.
Yeah,
He was like, "You
not
don't
bad
need
for
the hat now."
29.
Yeah,
So 10 years ago, was that actually when it was made then?
yeah.
Or this is just
So
when they uploaded it?
he put me because he did all these scenes throughout like a couple months, I guess.
I forget how
But
young you are sometimes.
yeah, he did all these scenes throughout a couple months, and then I did that scene in a whole day. So
Yeah.
I was just part of the intro, and that scene took 12 hours because he had us
Yeah.
rerun a whole bunch of times. So it was grueling, like because it was like
See,
being on set for a film, but it was like
yeah.
indie because you could tell how
Oh, the
like
helicopter shot. Yeah.
so
So the shaky cam, see, I hate shaky cam. I
he
hate it
didn't
with
have
a
a
passion.
tripod or anything. Like he did,
But
but he didn't have like
the
a
fact that this is an amateur production, that's completely forgiven. It's when
yeah.
it's
He
a
didn't
big
have like
Hollywood
a
movie and they do that.
what do you call that thing that helps track like rolling shots? I can't
Steadicam.
remember. Yeah, he didn't have
Steadicam.
anything to keep it steady, so that's why it was incredibly shaky. He had his friend like hold because he had like a mount for the camera. He
Hmm.
held the mount to keep it more steady, but he ran along with us. So we were in full sprint while he ran sideways.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was the
It's funny. I've done that same thing, like on my own little dabblings. But
it, but like
yeah,
he wasn't
that's
holding the
awesome. Well,
camera; he was holding a mount, and that was like the
well,
whole
but I
reason.
mean, like they have like I think they have computer programs that like artificially shake the camera to make it look like it's a handheld. It's
Yeah,
just like don't do
no,
that.
that was the real shaky cam.
The real shaky
So
cam, which I mean, at the time, yeah, the big movies were doing it, so it fit in perfectly.
yeah, I
I
did a couple
I'll have to
movies with
watch
that
the.
guy. I did a Watch Dogs film for him, in which I almost crashed his car, and then I did a another film, but I was in a mask. I was in like a whole mask, so I was
That's
just
why you're not
credited.
shy about being on camera if you've done it. You've lived
Yeah,
it.
but it wasn't anything crazy. I didn't get paid or anything. I was just there just to help and to practice my you know
Craft.
my craft. But yeah. Anyway,
Oh, I see the music videos. Yeah, I'm looking at his channel now. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe.
yeah,
Knox Production.
I think he did like a contract with somebody to sell the channel or something like that, but I can't remember. I used to contract my IT business for him, so
Cool.
yeah.
Rantcast.
There's my topics tonight was I was in a film. Here you go.
Yep,
Check
he
that
was in a
out.
film. Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry
All
for the
right.
backtrack. Back to where we were at before.
That was super interesting. I thought. So yeah, Avalon Hill. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I mean, part of me thinks, don't worry, they're just going to kind of pick up and continue on. We'll eventually we'll hear about they have some new project lead, and maybe some things are the same, maybe they're different. That anonymous Avalon Hill social media post on X that was just like, well, what other IP themes would you like to see for HeroQuest in the future, was like very ominous. And with Amalgamash's video, I kind of agreed with him on that one, because he was just like, this is, it dilutes everything, because you've got like nobody buys like Seinfeld Monopoly because they think it really improves the game. It's just they're Seinfeld fans, and so they buy everything that has Seinfeld on it, or you know they're going to play regular Monopoly, but they just collect this unique oddball, gift.
Right.
So are they really going to make another version of HeroQuest to stand the test of time? That's going to be some off-brand thing. But if they go down that road, what is it really going to be? Is it going to be something that people speculate about? Like, is it going to be like a one-off, like D&D HeroQuest crossover? Could it be like a Games Workshop crossover? Something that fits a little better than just like Harry Potter HeroQuest or Simpsons HeroQuest or something like that. Like, I don't know. I could see them making that. I just don't know if it would do them any good. Like, I guess a few people would notice, but I think the type of person that buys that product is not going to be the person that's in it for the long haul, and it's going to like keep coming back.
Well,
So I don't know. I mean, I've said it before, and you watched our previous show, so it's like they have a year of expansions already announced, but after that we don't know what's going to happen. And I was saying, well, they could cancel those, but then people were telling me, oh, but remember, because this is the world of board games, they have to do all that preliminary stuff. They have to create the molds for the plastic miniatures. They got to print all the card stock. They got to make all the deals and the distribution stuff. And so by the time we hear about it, it's pretty much done already. It's not like it's still in the prototype stage and they can just throw it in the trash.
they
It
could.
would cost them money to destroy it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they could do
if
that.
they really just wanted to, if they were really just calling stuff a loss, they could.
Yeah,
But
because that's what they did with the Barbarian and Elf Quest packs. Like, they threw that stuff in the wood chipper. Like, people, it's like, okay, do you want to take this home to your family? No? Okay, well, we'll just throw it in the trash then. It's destroyed. Get rid of the stock, and then became a collector's item for 30 years. So, yeah, and we've seen companies do stupid things before. So, I don't think I can rely on well, they're a smart, company. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to do the smart thing. Not necessarily. They might do something really, really dumb. But if we just kind of, yeah, part of me assumes that, okay, they're going to release the stuff for a year, and then they'll take it in a new direction, and hopefully it won't be a shitty direction. But it could very well be.
be a horribly shady direction.
Yeah, because it's like got all the signs of it. Like, okay, let's fire the guy that's in charge of the project. Let's fire the guy that connects with the fans. So we're unhappy with that. We want a different way of communicating. Like, so okay, and they want a different creative direction. So they're going to get someone in there that, I don't know, does it more cheaply, or more, I don't know, is the safer choice, or something like that, or because I doubt it's
Yeah.
the reverse. I doubt it's they're thinking, well, and Carmine wasn't bold enough. We need somebody who's going to take even more risks, and be even more like radical. It's like, I don't think so. I think it would go the other direction. It would be just like, okay, just really like cash in type stuff. I mean, they could sell lots of HeroQuest merch if they wanted, like stuff that has nothing to do with the game. It's just like, T-shirts and hats and lunch boxes and, I don't know, just bobbleheads and stuff like that, action figures.
Well, I mean, they could. I don't know, man. Like, really, when it comes down to it, I feel that I feel like it's gonna be fine. I feel for a while. It's kind of too early to tell what the final verdict's gonna be, but
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
only been yeah,
go ahead.
it's only been like 3 years, really. It's been 3 years of the product. So a lot of people are just waking up and like, oh yeah, HeroQuest is back, isn't it? Oh, and I can buy. There's a couple boxes I could buy. Interesting. So it's like the Sega Dreamcast coming out, and it's like, oh, and it's canceled. It's like, okay, people barely had a chance to even realize it was there, except people that were, following it from the beginning.
Yeah, Bohemius, your pieces are now gonna be in the form of sand, or they're gonna come in clay. So don't drop your pieces in
Floppy.
water, and
Oh
you'll
yeah,
be okay.
yeah. So I I bought a whole bunch of like resin printed figures from a guy on Etsy, Minis 3D. I thought I was like being really cool by doing that, but I regret it. I mean, resin just breaks too easily. Like it's much better to just print it with the chunky like lines on it. The F or um, is it PLA or SLA? I don't know all the different terms, but like there's the chunky plastic 3D printers and then there's the resin ones. The resin ones look really good, but they're really brittle. So if you're just gonna print something and like put it on a shelf, okay, fine. But if you're gonna like transport it and play with it like on the board and everything, best not to use resin. And once you paint it, you can barely tell the difference anyway.
Okay.
So that's my take on it. And I know people are gonna say wrong or wrong because they're the same people that'll buy like a $20 like metal
Wrong.
miniature. That wrong. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look up close, the detail is amazing, but the durability is not there. The cost is way higher, and it's like when you're playing it like at arm's length on the table, you really can't tell much of a difference at all. And it's like, okay, are you going to spend the whole game like staring at, oh man, this thing is so cool that you painted? It's like, no, you're going to be playing the game, and in passing, oh yeah, it looks cool. Yeah,
Right on.
no quality control. Well, that's the thing when it first started, when we had the HasLab campaign. You opened up that awesome mythic box, and the glue is off, and you can see the little the ink spilled over on the dice, and like the image isn't quite lined up correctly, and there's like folds in the cardboard, and it's like there's all these imperfections, and it's just like it looks kind of crappy actually. I mean, the product is cool, but just the build quality is it looks like hastily thrown together, and they were getting away from that. They were improving it. So yeah, if they start cutting corners again, you'll know why, and that's
Love
too
that
bad.
myth.
I know.
Love that mythic box. It's
I
just
know towards the end of the original Hero Quest run, and I think these are actually maybe rarer because I've never seen them, but they were starting to use like less plastic. So like the sprues, because originally the pieces were on sprues. I mean, it's not like Warhammer where you had to cut out like each arm and leg and glue it together, but it was just you pop the character off the sprue and then you play with it. They made the sprues smaller, but then they started making like the furniture plastic because it was like a plastic piece and then a cardboard piece that went together to like make a
ugh.
door or a table.
Ogre horde with
Well,
cardboard doors. If the leaks are true. Ugh.
I don't
Oh,
think that's that big a deal, but I mean they were
oh
making it
man.
like they made the plastic like hollow or they made it shorter, so they were like cutting corners to like save plastic in the classic days. I mean, Brazil didn't get plastic at all; they just got cardboard.
I like my
But yeah, I mean,
pieces to be pieces. Like I understand that like it's not a huge thing, right? If you get it, you get it. You can always use it, right? Like I've told people before, those board games are the limit is your imagination. You want to
yeah,
use a piece of paper or rip up some cardboard and then decorate it yourself and use it as a piece, fine. The big thing is though, like there's a community that sometimes makes better pieces than what's given. Like
yes, very
I have
true.
seen true artists do some amazing work with pieces, and
Hmm.
the big thing is that to me it always comes down to money, and this is where I was getting at. I'm actually gonna bring this up, Kirk, and I'm sorry. I'm going into
Go
a
for it.
rant on the Rantcast.
Whoa, whoa. Hold the
We
phone.
kind of got sidetracked this first hour, and I almost
We were
lost
getting
my
all
entire
positive and
talking
talking
about
about real world
movies.
stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Um,
it's like,
but
okay,
if
rant.
any of you guys were here on episode 25, and like I was telling people before, lots of people lost their jobs um, with these layoffs. And like I said, layoffs happen. They've happened with other companies this past year. A lot of other companies. Hasbro wasn't the only offender here. My issue with these layoffs has been due to the fact that one, most of the cases for these layoffs have been because they aren't meeting their profit line due to either investors, a personal goal that
Oh,
they
like growth
either
rate.
they overmet, or a growth rate. They weren't in the red, or they weren't in the red at all, or predicted to go in the red within the year. They didn't make any other budget cuts, and they just decided to lay off people to meet their line. To me,
And
that's
give
unacceptable
themselves.
business practices. That's something
Give,
that we've grown used to. We've just
yeah,
grown
we
used to doing that.
like
BuzzFeed
you.
killed off 80% of their workforce for no fucking reason after growing a huge amount of profit back in
Okay.
I think it was 2018, and still kept going. Why? Because they could afford to do it, and
Yeah.
they knew they weren't going anywhere. Now there was some logic in that, but they also killed off 80% of their workforce going into the Christmas season. Another big offense was it's the fucking Christmas season. Now I know not all 1,100 people were let go around that time, but was it 600? Correct me if I'm wrong. 600 people.
Um,
What was the total
something
amount
like.
cut? Yeah, so a good amount, and this was both Avalon Hill and Wizards of the Coast, right?
Yeah, it was. Well, they said 30%. It was so. I
So
guess it was 10% earlier, and then
yeah, so thirty
the
percent.
20% was. So yeah, whatever.
So
10%
30% were killed
is.
off.
Yeah.
And if you go, and I'm gonna make a comment on this here, because this is where I'm leading to. I am a huge, um, not a huge, because if I was, I'd donate or do all that stuff, and I'm not a huge donator, but it's not because I don't want to. It's just because I'm just not attentive. I'm a huge supporter of Amalgamash and his content. I usually peek in every now and then to see how he's doing. I'll comment every once in a while. He made
Yeah, I do
a
too. I don't donate to his Patreon. I got my own bills, but yeah, I
he
support him. Otherwise,
made a statement not too long ago in regards to um it was in regards to the layoffs, if I remember right.
mm, yeah,
Um and I can't remember what his title was called. I'm trying to find it. He has a couple channels now, doesn't he? I
yeah.
think I'm
Ash Quest, where
subscribed.
he talks about Hero Quest,
Yeah,
and
there we go.
then
That's it.
Amalgamash is his regular channel,
That
where
shows
he
how
talks
much I
about
pay attention, right? Um,
games.
so here we go. Just give me 2 seconds, guys, and I'm gonna find it.
Research Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on his channel. Let's see here. So he was talking about it on Ash Quest, right?
Chris
And
Cox can go suck on some cardboard.
the thing that he
Yes.
mentioned in there was he was, and I'm not gonna bring up his video or anything. I don't want to take anything from that, but he
Oh
did
no.
mention that uh, there's kind of the science between it, right? Like what was going on, the what might be going on with the company, how and Carmine or Pisnado addressed the uh, the layoff and kind of what was going on going forward. But and like I say, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, right? Or feel free to address it. He did the end comment that I kind of got from him was he was saying like we don't need to go ahead and like bash on Hasbro or state anything on Hasbro, and I have a comment to make on that personally, right? We don't need to go all in on a company, right? I don't encourage anybody because when I was coming in on my, and I'm not taking this personally, I'm just wanting to make this clear. When I stated and showed off members of the board in our last uh,
Rantcast.
Rantcast,
Mm-hmm.
I made the statement that we should make our voices heard, not just by like the internet naturally,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people can do that. That shit can casually get brushed off to the side. Unless you're
Slacktivism,
somebody
we
big,
call it.
it just gets, just gets brushed off to the side. We're considered keyboard warriors at that point.
Yeah, just venting.
Big thing that you can do is but contact. Get a hold of somebody, whether it be by written correspondence or email, whatever. And I know it sounds cheesy. I know it sounds horrible. I know it sounds somewhat unreasonable. It might sound like you're harassing somebody. It's not. State your opinion. Enough people state their opinion, and it can eventually get known. At least get addressed. And they may not change anything, but it gets addressed. And in this case, if I'm taking this right, I highly disagree with that comment. Hasbro should be addressed for what they did, because even though it is common for companies to do what they're doing now, it does not make it right at all, and we shouldn't let it happen.
Oh no.
We should not let it happen at all. We shouldn't be. This is why a lot of people address crunch in video in video game development. This is why they address these layoffs in the first place. This is why we try to stand up for this stuff, and even though it doesn't always get brought up, it's because I feel not enough people bring their comments direct to the company. When EA pulled their bullshit with Battlefront 2 and made the game so fucking unplayable that because of its microtransactions, and they had to go to court, and they made an entire law in certain countries about gambling, especially when it was in front of kids. People addressed it. I made a phone call myself to state that it wasn't just Battlefront. It was like they had FIFA. They did it with FIFA. They did it a lot with a lot of things, and how they needed to put more work into it. And I was told on the phone by a representative that I couldn't get any higher than where they were at. And I was like, well, I'll go ahead and contact your legal department. I'll find your legal department. I'll see if I can get a contact and write some written correspondence and do my own work, because they need to know. And like, that's the thing, is it doesn't always get addressed. They may not look at it, but they get enough fucking letters coming in or emails coming in, they're going to take a look at it eventually. And like I said, and it's not just that, it's the fact that like somebody up there isn't even fucking seeing this. They don't visit YouTube. They don't look at that. Somebody else addresses that to them. And all those people making all that money live completely different lives from like somebody like me. They make more money than I'll ever see in my life. And here's how that could how shit like that could have changed. Is all those people sitting on the board could have cut 10, 20, maybe even 30% of that salary for that year to make up their profit margin, and we could have prevented some of those layoffs. It may not have prevented the whole thing, but a lot of people could have had a holiday where they still had a job. Not everybody was prepared like Chris was. Not everybody was set like Chris was. And I'm not saying that's the board's problem. But the big thing when you get a job and you work a job for a long period of time is you shouldn't work it expecting not to have it anymore, not of your own accord. You know, you put your life into a company like Hasbro. You put your career into something like that expecting to retire, especially if you work as hard as you do. You know, it's not like you're working like a dead-end nightmare.
Job.
You're working. Most people who work in a company like that, doing a position like Chris has, they're living it.
Right.
So unfortunately, I'm not going to not bash Hasbro for this, because I think what they're doing is bullshit.
Okay.
And it's true what it is. It's bullshit.
But here's the thing that you're forgetting. There's something you're leaving out. Firing all those people was really hard work, and that deserves a bonus.
Oh yeah.
I'm totally being sarcastic. No, but okay. So maybe it's been a while since I watched Amalgamash's video, but do you think he was going the?
Well, I'm trying to find it. If somebody in chat can find it for me, please link it, because I'm trying to like look at it while getting off this huge thing.
I'm sure we're not. We never said you need to like riot and like break.
This was 2 weeks ago. I think
harass people.
I think it's this one. But
he
I don't just want to like.
You think he was talking about like? So fans often get accused of doing this, of like sending death threats to companies and stuff.
Okay,
Like
but that's once
we don't
again,
do that. We didn't tell people to do that. Nobody's doing that.
no, that's not what I'm saying. And
So
like,
you don't.
I don't
Okay.
always feel like I need to state that to people, but like,
Yeah. These days, like people just assume.
addressing your opinion and how you
Hmm.
feel towards a company layoff should be as heavy as what I just said.
Yeah.
You could tell somebody it's
Hasbro has no.
bullshit, but
Yeah,
like you should be
Hasbro doesn't have
talking.
feelings. It's like,
You should
I
be
hurt the company's feelings.
you
No,
should
no.
talk to somebody up in that, and if you're addressing like a board member or or somebody with a correspondence like that, you should be professional. If you don't know how to send a professional email, you can look it up. And like I said, you should be addressing them with at least a mildly professional email, and like, or a correspondence or something like that. Like, we don't need to be saying, well, we're going to boycott, or the resistance is coming after you, or I know where you live, and stuff like that. That's stupid. Like, I don't support that. And if that's what Amalgamash meant, then fine. But like, the big thing is, I support anybody willing to stand up against a big corporate conglomerate like Hasbro, because at the end of the day, if a business is making a bad business decision and there's not another business that can rise up against that, they need replaced. There can always be another toy company. We do
Yeah,
not need them to live. We do not need them to support our habits. And at the end of the day, we are missing out on every opportunity if they monopolize everything. Like,
yeah.
that's a big
They
thing.
literally own monopoly.
I love HeroQuest
Hmm.
because I just got introduced to it, and I enjoy the game. My daughter just asked me about it not more than a week ago, and we're planning on sitting down. But like, I want to get more details on the game. I'm still relatively green to it. I get the gist of it, but like, that's the thing is, that can be picked up. HeroQuest can be picked up. It's an IP, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
The big thing
it
is, like,
doesn't matter if
Hasbro does
Hasbro's
not have to own it. And
just because.
granted, you're taking a
Hmm.
chance if somebody else picks it up. But,
Yeah, they could
you
decide to
know,
remake it in their own image, but.
imagine somebody like,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be a mom and pop shop, but imagine a company that actually has competition, big
Yeah.
competition, putting,
Hmm.
they have an encouragement to put their heart and soul into it. You know, we we are not encouraged as much anymore to do that. And Avalon Hill, the first company in a long time, at least with what I've seen with you guys, looked like they were doing that or attempting
Yeah,
to do something with it.
it was
So,
extremely respectful and careful and competent, and like they were trying to like understand what it is that we wanted and what made
and
it
I'm gonna tell
good.
you guys all right now,
Yeah.
I don't get paid for being on Twitch. I will never will, after the fact that that's another big thing. Twitch supports pornography pretty much at this point. Even though they've changed their terms of service. If you go to Twitch and you make it through 3 pages without seeing a hot tub or some chick bouncing her ass up and down or doing something weird, um, then I applaud you. But um, yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, straight up topless now. Yeah, pretty much that. Like, that black bar shit is ridiculous. Once again, um, children get on this platform,
Yeah, it's supposed to be for gaming, but
and
I don't know.
it's
I might disagree with you on this one because didn't I thought that they said, okay, artistic erotica and nudity is now allowed, but then
okay.
after
So
48
let me.
hours they rolled it back.
Yes,
So now
they
you
did,
still just
and
have
now
people that are like skirting the rules. Like
you have a
people, yeah, it's like,
you have
oh,
a
I
2 day boob window now. Congratulations. Like, and
my
that's what
my
I'm saying is, like,
my shirt
people.
my shirt fell off. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. Oh, I'm
Do you
back from my band now. It's like
Yeah,
what?
do you know what an artist did in response to that? Showed pretty much drew his OC doing a goatsy and said, "Okay, thanks,
Dang,
Twitch." Yeah, like, pretty much,
that's a
like
blast from the past. Don't look it
like
up.
can't
Yeah,
fucking do anything, and like, the paid people get less bans than the non-paid people. So I like, that's a whole nother fucking rantcast at that point. It's
yeah,
really fucking sick because,
yeah,
like, we have rules here for a reason, and like I said, granted, I live in the real world. Rules get bent. But
yeah,
it's like literally every rule nowadays gets broken, and it's really fucking stupid.
Well, and it's always like certain people are allowed to get away with it
Like
because
you're
they
on
have
Twitch, you're
connections
not
and they make
a
money.
national celebrity. You don't fucking like people who get paid to be on these platforms act like they're like above like
Yeah,
huge celebrities and think they can do anything, and then they get caught with their pants down doing awful shit. And then people
literally.
wonder why my kids don't get involved on these platforms because I don't
Yeah,
want to expose them to this stuff. Like they know what it is, but like it's really stupid,
yeah,
and it's there's no regulation to it at all besides like a
yeah,
mild parental control. So,
yeah.
um,
My niece wants to do videos, and her dad's like, "No," and it's like I'm right there with him. It's like you don't know, and it's better that you don't know.
yeah. So just to finalize on like the whole area of HeroQuest and Hasbro, um, I don't not encourage you to voice your opinion on where Hasbro's at. And like I said, I'm not trying to be offensive to Amalgamash at all. I support that guy as far as it goes. I you know he does great stuff. The guy does great stuff. I loved having him on the Rantcast with us. Um, he's a really cool dude. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I
I like Ash.
and this is an unbiased opinion here because it's with anybody. Once you get high enough in the YouTube/Twitch ranks, I feel that you do have to have a neutrality to certain things, and um, yeah, and supporting the folks who are still out at Avalon Hill. For those of you who work at Avalon Hill, for anybody who does, good
Like
luck to you.
Patrick and Doug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's it. That's good luck to you. At the end of the day,
you know
you're
that you're
under
expendable.
you're
Unfortunately.
under a horrible fucking umbrella. And like it's no different from any other big company, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to say it. We all know the
Yeah,
elephant in the room, and
yeah,
um it's like, it'd be like working for Comcast at that point. Like the only difference is like Hasbro is a career you'd
oh,
probably really want to be at. Like
yeah.
as opposed to like, Comcast is just a slow wage. It's a
Hmm.
slow, painful death, I feel. Like, I mean, I don't know, I've never worked for Comcast, but I've worked for jobs similar to something like that. But,
Hmm. Yeah,
you know, I just feel like once again, companies need competition. Now,
yeah,
granted, the next other company besides Hasbro is Mattel, but
yeah,
these companies both own pretty much every toy your kids or you have played with.
yeah.
So unless
Unless
you're
you
as
in
you're
some
playing with
other
baby
country, but
toys,
yeah,
like or you're playing with rocks and sticks, you've probably played with a Hasbro or Mattel toy.
hey, rocks
And
and sticks are awesome. We played with those when we were kids. Yep.
so they have competition, but it's unusually
I need
small.
I need to say something. I do get paid to stream on Twitch,
Okay, that's not
but
what I meant though. Like
I hardly get anything. Yeah, it's
like
I spend more money than I make
what I
doing
mean
it.
is
It's
affiliates. To
a
me,
hobby.
affiliates aren't like on that list, and they I mean they
Yeah,
are, but they aren't. Like I mean partners and
yeah.
um
Celebrities that come there
people
already.
who are on YouTube getting paid are different.
Yeah, I don't
They
get
have
paid
a
on
little bit
YouTube.
of a different. They have a little bit of a different
It's
rule set
absurd
when you're on
it's
YouTube.
absurd the amount of hoops you have to jump through to get paid on YouTube, unless you have no soul or are already famous to begin with, rich and
So,
famous.
and that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I know people
Shout
who
out to
I know
Galoob.
people. Yeah, good old Galoob. Yeah, maker of the game genie. I remember. I mean, I know people that have worked their butts off to like get high up on YouTube or Twitch, but like it feels like the people that are on the top are the ones who made the shady deals or who are already famous. It's rare that you find somebody who like actually worked hard and didn't like bend the rules and like burn the bridges behind them. Like it's really rare.
But yeah,
So that
once again,
that can be just disheartening if you're trying to do it as a job to be successful, which thank goodness I'm not trying to do. You know, it would be wasting my time.
but
I'd
once again, no ill
have
will
a nervous breakdown. Yeah.
towards
Yeah,
any
no ill will.
fellow
I mean,
streamers or anything. It's just
yeah, I mean
it's a personal
Ash
opinion.
is he has a different like I mean he has like people that donate to him. I mean he has a whole like he has people he's accountable to. So he's in a different world, and I don't know what it's like because I'm not in that. But yeah, I mean, I value his opinion as well, but I got to think about like he's coming at it at a different angle a lot of times. So I mean, I guess as long as we keep talking to each other, keep hearing those different perspectives, because I mean, it's yeah. Sometimes people will put stuff out and like I'll misunderstand where they're coming from. It's like I didn't really think about it. The fact that it's like okay, maybe they're looking at this a different way than I am. But yeah, criticizing Hasbro, do it. I've sent them emails, and if you were to read the email, I mean, I've published them like publicly as well. Like I'll put them on the Discord or I'll put them on Yield In. It's not just like a list of profanity, all the things that I'm calling their mothers. No, it's not like that. It's here's what they're doing right. Here's what they're doing wrong. Here's what I'm upset about. It's civil. It's straightforward. And I've gotten responses back, and some of it is supportive and some of it is very neutral. But I mean, I specifically say in there, I want you to forward this on to the complaints department. I want this, and I suppose they could just say, oh, yeah, sure, we'll do that and not really do it. But I mean, I worked for big companies where they actually do take that seriously. It does get sent to someone up higher if you demand it. And whether that higher up does anything about it is another story. But it does get looked at, it does get read. And if enough people complain, they will do something, you know, and you don't lose anything by doing that. I mean, yes, if you threaten somebody, you're going to get sued or, get a call from the cops, so don't do that, obviously. Obviously. But yeah, in this day and age, you've got to say that. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, because well, Disney did that. They had people saying, "Well, we got all these death threats, so fans are toxic." It's like if you really believed that, you'd have like 24-hour police escort. You would delete your Twitter. Like I don't. It's like I almost don't believe them. I mean, maybe yeah. Sure, you get one person out of a million that's like, I'm gonna burn you down. Like, okay, that person's
I'm
nuts.
gonna
They're
burn you
probably
down.
not real. They're probably not really going to do that. I mean, in my time on the internet, I'm surprised. Like I've gotten threats before, but the number of threats is so small. It's like, okay, well, I guess that's good. I mean, I guess if I were really famous, I'd probably get lots more. But it's like, okay, most of those people will not do anything. Thank goodness. But there's always a chance. It's like, okay, well, maybe somebody would try something. But at the same time, you can't use the fact that there are people that say stupid things online to hide behind that and say, well, therefore, all criticism of me is automatically invalid and I can just ignore it.
Yeah,
And
just
I think these companies that have money, like if everyone boycotted me, nothing changes. Like, oh, I'm going to be sad. I might lose $50. Okay, oh well. But if people boycott Hasbro, they're going to lose millions of dollars. Their stock's going to go down.
at the
Like,
end of the
they'll
day,
have
like
actual consequences.
I
Yeah.
feel like like I said, I don't always like some people don't like doing it, right? But I still say like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, vote with your wallet on a time in which you don't like something, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want
If
to
you
do
want to
that
change.
because you absolutely love the product you're buying, voice your concern.
Yeah. Well,
Because really
and there's
at the end of the day, like I don't buy something if it is literally controlled by people like that. Like I don't
yeah,
because of the fact that or I buy third party.
or
And that's
used.
yeah, no,
Dude,
that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. It's like you don't I don't buy directly from the seller. So like
if you want to buy a Nerf gun, guess what? Every thrift store around you has Nerf guns. Like, and they're in good shape. You just get one of those sanitizing wipes. You give that a nice good go around. You just get yourself a package of those third party darts. You're golden.
in
You know?
response to Bohemius saying the letter needs to be
Yeah.
public, the voice of one person doesn't make a difference nowadays. Only views and followers make a dent. Uh, so I disagree. I agree with the fact that just one person doesn't, but it does take one person to encourage other people to do the same thing. Like I said
I,
before, with the
yeah.
like I said, there was a Crystal Pepsi stand up when there really needed to be no Crystal Pepsi at all. Pepsi kept telling the same guy over and over again, "We really have no need to do that. It's a waste of money." And then what was it? And like I said, this was an influencer, right? But he did it all himself for years. And like you said, he wasn't a big guy, wasn't a famous guy. Got over 100,000 people to vote over time. And another big example was not
Wait,
an
so they
influencer
brought Crystal Pepsi back
for a
because
limited
of
time,
that?
just because of that, because of the 100,000
Oh,
signatures. Yeah. Um,
congratulations.
Another big thing was during Voices of Concern. Is really it does take, and it's because a lot of the people upstairs don't recognize that this stuff affects you as it does. They also don't really care about how many people they let go. When you look at something on pen and paper for so long, that's all it becomes is pen and paper. And I
Yeah.
don't really know how
Well,
else to put it down. I really don't know how else to put it down because like when I took stuff for business, when I was
mhm,
in the time of growing my business, when I did my LLC stuff, hiring employees and getting rid of employees was a big thing that they taught you about. Um, Especially during like if you had to do contracting or anything like that, because that was the in between before I needed to start hiring people. Cost does make a difference, but that's all you're going to start seeing after a while. And
yeah.
do you want it to come out of your pocket? Do you want it to come out of your business expenses? Or do you want it to come out of people you can just rehire for cheaper?
Hmm.
And like then that's coming out of a bigger business. Like if it was me and I only had a business of 12 people, we'd have to find another way to cut costs, or we'd cut one person, like our newest person, or like a secretary or whatever.
Hmm.
That's how they'd see that. I probably wouldn't do it that way, but the biggest thing is some people look at it as the lowest common denominator that costs you a lot of money because every person that's employed probably at Hasbro has insurance, has you know all that stuff. Did I get a reasonable answer? What are you talking? What?
Oh,
Oh, I mean,
let me address. So I know you disagreed with Bohemius, but I think I know what he's getting at. So here's what I did. I'm just going to give you an example of what I did. So I wrote a strongly worded letter to Hasbro. I sent it to their customer service email. I copied and pasted the email I sent and I put it in Yield In. So basically, I threw it out there to other people saying, "Here's what I said." I put it in the Discord also. I mean, I got rid of the headers or whatever, but I've just said, okay, well, this is what I did. So I didn't just silently send an email and not tell anybody. I agree with you that if that's all you did, I mean, that's something, but it's better to like also tell other people. It's kind of like somebody saying like, get out the vote, and then you don't vote. It's like, okay, well,
yeah,
you didn't. It's like, but at the same time, the other thing I call it, well, it used to be called this. I don't know if it is anymore. Slacktivism, like slacktivism, where you just rant about something like, man, we need to save the whales, but then you don't do anything to save the whale. You just say it. Like, I'm raising awareness. It's like, no, you donated to the thing or you volunteered and you told other people about it. So yeah, people online yelling about HeroQuest and yelling about Hasbro, that has
I
some
called
effect, but they can ignore it. They can just go, oh, they're just whining, and then they'll just calm down, and we can just get on
I
with it.
called, but I
Hmm.
don't want to release a phone number. You could usually get a lot of that stuff on Hasbro's site. They usually have a communications page. If you
Yeah,
don't you want to just do email? Because I've thought about doing an email myself personally. Um,
a phone call is stronger
but
because
but
a lot
you
of companies
can do
they
both.
record those. They
You,
record those. They listen
yes,
to them. Like
but you can
somebody's
do
going to be
both.
sitting in an office, yeah,
It's
listening.
not, and it's not always what you say too. Like I said, with Kurgan here, he sent the email. Yes, but Bohemians, what I'm saying is it's strength in numbers, right? Like you said with views and follows and stuff, right? It is really strength in numbers. That it's going to make the difference, right? If some bigwig at Hasbro gets one email from some asshole who says, "Well, your products suck ass," he's not going to look at that and go, "Oh, it's not even going to make it to him," right? Now, if he gets a
Yeah.
hundred that actually
Yes.
say something like, or even if they're copy pasted, right? And they like if he has something he put it on a yield in, they copy and paste some of that and just throw it at Hasbro, the whoever's going to get that, they have a department for that. They're going to look at that and go, well, we're getting the same email over and over again. It's from different
It
recipients.
it
And
takes
like,
up company time. Companies, sorry, I
and
don't mean to interrupt, but
resources, and
yeah.
yeah, it's
So like, hey, so I see that you spent like an hour checking your email today. What was that about? Well, these guys keep sending these emails saying that this we're doing everything wrong.
and you
Just
got to
delete them.
call. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
call, and you got to email. Like, that's the
Oh,
thing
we
is
got
like,
like the complaints went up 50%. It's like what? It's like, oh man. So they
like
got
I
to
said,
process all these complaint reports.
for
It's like,
me,
okay, something's happening.
it's enough for me to voice my disinterest and send an email if I want to. Like,
Hmm.
we really want to get something done. We have to make it a, not a job, but we have to make it like you would do a hobby, something on a regular basis. It's something that has to get noticed. Like, me and
Yeah.
Kurgan can't do it alone every day, and
No.
that's
Well,
something that like that you are making a point to. But
yeah.
like I said, if I just said, well, nobody else is gonna do it, and they're just gonna ignore it, then
Yeah.
I just
We're
might
actors.
as well
Well, we're
fuck off. Like,
we're not. I mean, we're not acting on this. I mean, we're not just like yelling about stuff just to yell about it. We really do have strong opinions on this. But at the same time, like, there's other people that agree with us, and if they're just being silent or they're just yelling to people on Reddit and they're not actually like sending it to the company, they're not having the same impact. You can still yell about the thing,
look
but
at,
direct
for
it
example,
to the people that actually have the power to make a difference
I could send
with
you a
it.
link if I can find it. I'll look it up here in a minute. The How the EA stuff happened with Battlefront 2, how that got
Hmm.
shut, or how that got adjusted and shut down, because
Microtransaction
it wasn't just because of influencers, man. It
or the
was
D&D OGL.
thousands of people.
Yeah. Where's Icarus? I thought he was gonna. Well, maybe he had
I mean, I
something come
don't
up.
think
He's got a lot.
Hasbro has enough money to have an AI. Like, uh, I don't think they have that sort of resource. I mean, they
So
probably do have that money, but like they probably don't have that implemented. And if they
so
did, they probably have like an auto sort, right? But somebody still
yeah.
goes through that. They have a department that goes through like complaints because they have to go through legal terms. Like the bank that I
Bohemian.
worked for,
Yeah.
like sorts through that stuff. And like
Hmm.
if they're a big company, so if like somebody mentions lawsuit, or like if somebody mentions like something big, like, they use the
Yeah.
proper terminology, it's
Like
gonna
I'm gonna
go
sue
through.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna
not
take this
just
to the
now.
media.
Now hold on, that's just an example, right? But there are other
Hmm.
terms that can go through that email chain, right? But even just a request or dissatisfaction, like once again, as long as you're not emailing saying your shit sucks, like, and you're going through and you're saying, hey, I
Cursing at them.
recently noticed your, like, about your business practices, what went on the last year. I'm highly dissatisfied with your company. I'm highly dissatisfied with the way your company's going, and I'm highly dissatisfied with your product. You know, and then put in a suggestion on how you think it should be changed, and then put in the fact that you have people who would be willing to help change it, or put in like any other reasonable action, and say that you do have backers, and then there are other emails, and there are people that would come in and do that.
Yeah.
That would help.
Well, people
But
have
really,
gotten
your
responses
voice
back.
does actually matter, man.
People have
Like,
gotten
it's
responses back saying like, I know this is a tough time.
yeah, but we're not looking at like
You're gonna
Chat GPT here, man. We're not looking
yeah.
at like a big
The
algorithm.
thing
It still
is,
sorts for words. Like,
I know that in all ages, there's always the situation. Like you imagine the scenario: the person is in the store and they're like, "This is terrible customer service. I want to speak to the manager." And the joke is always, "I am the manager." Like they could be lying. No, you're not really that.
and
Or I'm the manager and I don't care. Get out of my
like I
store.
said
Like
before,
that can
man,
happen.
it doesn't take
Delete,
a famous
delete,
person.
delete. But
And
eventually, yeah,
it doesn't take a famous person to change a company. And
yeah.
that's all I'm saying here, right?
They
The
could
point,
ignore it, but at their own peril. And
you
even
just have to
even
work
the
really hard.
AI, yeah, you do have to work hard. And even those AI, they pick up keywords. So don't do
Okay,
this. But if somebody said that they were gonna
here's how I'm gonna
attack
break this
somebody,
down.
okay,
You don't have
gonna
to be
sue
on the phone,
flag.
and
Hmm.
if you wanted to, like I said, Bohemians, really, just you writing like I said, if it was me, Kurgan, you, and I don't know, a couple hundred other people, however you wanted to communicate, right? That helps. That helps do anything rather than nothing at all. Okay? Lots of companies have made their own statements or changed their statements due to people just making a statement, a proper statement, right? And like I said, it's the work. It's literally everything you've just said right now that makes it so that people do not want to do that. And I'm not downplaying you at all, right? Because all
No, no.
they're all valid points. They're all
Yeah.
really valid
Absolutely.
points because they do not want you to talk to them about it.
They
Like
would rather
if
not hear from you. Exactly. They
well,
would rather.
mostly for the fact that that's why they're doing it. They're not cutting their workforce like that in huge amounts all the time because they need to do it or it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they can. And yes, there is a reason for it, but the big thing is they could have done a better something better, but it would have cost them money. And like
Yeah.
if you have dissatisfaction for something like that, or if you have dissatisfaction that they like let's say they do something bad with the product, do you think they're going to hear everybody's complaint on it? No. So they make it so they state, "Oh, well, we'd love to hear your feedback," but they're not going to hear your feedback. And the big thing is that it's going to take work to get them to hear your feedback, and that's any
Yeah.
company, man. That's drink companies, that's game companies, that's banks, that's anything,
Hmm.
right? That's any major corporate conglomerate.
If
The
I
big
eat the
thing is
McDonald's hamburger and it tastes like crap, and I just keep it to myself.
they're gonna tell you to go up and get a new one. But like the big thing is if McDonald's changes the recipe to something really shitty because they change it to
Uh-huh.
horse or something, right? You think
Well, they
that
changed it to they got rid of the pink slime. Remember that?
well yeah look
We're
but once
complaining. They're
again
like,
if they
okay,
change it to something unethical, you think people are
yeah.
just gonna like go well whatever man
Or
it's
Pepsi, they
finger
took
it's
out
fingers and toes like whatever dude
they
like I'm not gonna
remember people were mad about aspartame being in Pepsi, so they took it out. After a while, they put it back in. But I mean, for a
yeah
while, it was like they actually listened. They were just like, "This is stupid. There's no reason for us to do that. We won't do it."
I've
And then they did
I've
it.
always I've always stated this too.
Hmm.
Companies will always try to repeat shit over a period of
Yeah,
time.
they come back. Yep.
And like I said, it's everything that you do is fighting the good fight. Everything. It's
Yeah,
like, do not attempt to come at this thinking that it's a one and done situation.
you
And,
got to be vigilant
like
always.
I said before, I'm guilty of it too. I'm a guy who looks at it and goes, okay, I've been at this for a week. Fuck it. I'm done.
Hmm.
you know, I'm not going to be the guy who constantly complains all the time about this shit. But at the same time, that's been my belief is that if I do it, I believe other people can do it. And I
Yeah.
also know that there are people who spend their time on these platforms telling the same thing and like they go, "Oh, well this guy's a big person, I should probably get on and do it." Well,
Hmm.
that guy puts on the same pants I do. And to
Right.
be honest, I don't watch people on YouTube because they're famous. I watch people on YouTube for like usually information or to be entertained.
Hmm.
If I want to watch a celebrity act really well, or if I want to watch a good celebrity, I'll turn on a movie, or like I differentiate the two, right? But and that's what I'm saying. Like I said, your points are valid. They're not like I'm trying to slap you down or anything. But what I'm saying is like
No.
it's those right there because we've all been there. We all look at it and go, man, I don't want to sit here and talk on the phone for an hour. I don't want to sit there and have to write a note every day. I don't want to do
Or they're
everything.
just gonna ignore me anyway, so why
Yeah,
bother?
so why
Like there's
bother?
that
Because it's
mentality.
wasted time. But
Yeah.
it's really not. It's just the fact that how
Why not?
much work are you willing to put into it? Because it's not just
Yeah.
that, it's the fact that we do have to gather people to do it. You have to annoy the shit out of them. You
Yeah.
have to you have to
Squeak gets the
constantly
grease.
put in the work. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, nothing gets done.
Right. Think about like the Star Wars holiday special. It comes out, fans make fun of it, tell them it sucks. Okay, so they bury it, right? But what if all of those fans had said, "No, no, no, this is Star Wars, and I'm a loyal Star Wars fan, so I've got to say it's good, and I've got to pretend that it's good, and I don't know, buy it on VHS or whatever. Then the company's like, well, we knew this was a mediocre product, but everybody seems to like it and they seem to be buying it, so I guess we'll just keep on this
I
path.
mean,
We must be doing the right thing. Like that's what they'll think. But yeah,
yeah,
if it's the opposite, it's like it's everybody's pissed about it and telling you they're pissed.
and
They
to
can't just
and
ignore that. They go, okay, we'll change direction,
yeah, and to
because they're
follow up
paranoid about losing money. They're paranoid about losing,
and
profit.
to follow up the you were saying like bigger people would have to make the change. The only reason that happens quicker is because there's a guy who usually gains 100,000 to like 1 million views, talks about something like it's like, oh, this is stupid, this is why, and I feel like this company's going in a bad direction. It's unethical, blah blah blah. A lot of people see it and are like, oh god, we shouldn't buy from this company for a while, or
Yeah,
we should make our statements public on social media, and it gets all
right.
over social media, and then their PR
Scandal,
department or whoever's
bad
looking
press.
at looks at that, and it's bad press for them. Therefore,
Hmm.
not just the people on social media platforms and YouTube look at it, but a lot of people are looking at it fast. It's very fast. And that can also lead to people voting with their wallet. And that leads to
Yeah,
my next point, really, is if you don't want to communicate, vote with your wallet for a while. Not forever, just for a while. And I encourage
yeah.
other people to do the
Make them
same.
sweat.
And
Yeah.
like,
Well,
it's, you know,
and yeah, I'm sorry, I keep jumping in. I also think about how the back and forth, the exchange can work in our favor for those of us who want companies to stop screwing around. So like somebody will criticize like Star Wars for something they did. And then some actor or director will like get on social media and like yell at the fans. And then the reaction, instead of being like, yeah, you tell them, it'll be like, what a jerk. like
what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, like some
like
people will do
what's
that,
wrong
and
with
that's
you?
awful. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
really
so
bad.
it hurts the reputation, and then people are like, whoa, I didn't realize they were that stuck up about it. Like maybe I'm kind of embarrassed to be a fan now. like so but again, if nobody had said anything, it wouldn't have happened. Like, oh yes, you are right. The fans are toxic. They should just lie down and like it. like
Well,
no matter what,
reputational
no matter
risk
how
is a true thing.
reputational risk. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or did you hear about that guy? He made a complaint and they just said we don't care.
Hmm.
As opposed to like, yeah, somebody sent the thing back to Hasbro and said, look, my skeleton's broken, so they sent him like 5 replacements. It's like that's like a testimonial. That's like, oh wow, this somebody at the company actually cared. Like that was cool that they did that. But yeah, if you get the opposite where it's just like, yeah, I complained and they just ignored me,
So
it's like,
I'm gonna
oh,
do the same thing that I did last episode. I will
mm-hmm.
either attempt to make a phone call, or I'll do the same thing if Kurgan wants to send me a link to his email. I'll email the uh, the proper people at Hasbro um, tomorrow after I'm done at work, and then I will state it right here as well, doing my due diligence. I don't agree in the direction that Hasbro is going. Um, I think that they should stand above other companies, being a toy company for children and young adults mainly, right? Mainly, um, and because they have a wide audience and they make a lot of money, I think they should be striving for better quality, as well as trying to meet better goals for their customers and their employees, um, rather
Yep,
than uh, trying to meet the bottom line.
yeah.
And
Well, because they
that's
they can make money and make a good product and have good customer experience. Like it's possible to do both.
now
It's not like,
granted, in some
yeah,
cases you can't always have your cake and eat it too. But in this
it's a
case,
balance.
I feel that you can still make a good product, which they have in most cases, while still treating your customers with respect and as well as your employees. Um,
Hmm.
so, you know, like I said, layoffs happen. It's part of life. Sometimes you just got to you got to make a cut. Um, I feel how this was handled was improper. And since we don't really have a regulation on anything like this, we do, but we don't. Um, I really hope that the people that were laid off were taken care of in some
Yeah.
manner. Um,
Right.
so
Well, there's people who are, and again, not to get into the political side of things, they'll say, well, the free market will work itself out. Well, guess what? That's what we're talking about here.
yeah, and
We're not
like
going to wait for some law to be passed. We're going to work within the system to pressure them into doing the right thing,
and
right?
the yeah, and like I said before, the
Or
if
do
everybody
less
does it,
less crappy things.
if
Yeah.
everybody does it, it doesn't nothing positive comes out of it, especially for society, especially for our economy, especially for the bigger picture, in the country and all around. So, like I said before, I really do um think that all in all, uh, big businesses should have bigger responsibility. They no longer should be about taking care of the top 12 or top 24. They have a commitment to what they originally started when they were a big business, which was product quality and their customer base, right? Because you can still make money. The big thing is
Loyalty.
we have now relented to goals for some reason, like huge
Mhm.
goals, and we have this unrelenting love for investors, which I understand because you're in a certain case because your investors help sponsor and pay for a lot of your stuff, but there is no full. I don't think there is really a full. Because that's where I kind of get lost. I don't think there really is a full like regulation for that either. There are rules in place, but um, when they control a lot of what comes out of your business based on whether or not they're going to pull out of an investment, I feel like uh, that's some big ass cheese. So, um, that's another topic I'd like to cover too, but that's not something that really can be talked about or changed until you know somebody finds a problem with it, which nobody will because all the big people at the top don't really have a problem with it. So, um, yeah. Other topic, ass cheese. Yes. How to prevent it and how to keep your ass fresh and smooth.
Oh, I thought you said ask Jeeves.
No, no, ass cheese.
Okay.
But anyway, um, I mean that's it as far as um, my thoughts on Hasbro are concerned. Uh, Kurgan is posting links for numbers and how to get in contact with them if you'd like to voice your opinion. Like I've said before,
Mhm.
and I'll say it very, very, very clearly again, um, I have a problem with it. I hope that if you're dissatisfied with their service and how they've handled their business ethics and how they're going to be handling HeroQuest or possibly handling HeroQuest and how Wizard of the Coast handles their business. If you do have a problem with anything, voice your concerns. Think of how you're going to say things before you go out and say it. Please be professional. Please
Write
have
yourself a
some,
script.
please
Yeah.
be like, not, you can be firm, be polite but firm.
Yeah.
Show them that it's a serious topic, and don't act like a child. The big thing here
Yeah.
is that we're all in this together, and that's how you get in contact with them.
Right. And keep in mind that the often like the intern or low level person you're talking to, they're not the enemy, but
Well,
they just need
yeah,
to understand that you're serious and that they need to pass it on to the next level, the highest,
and they will not tell
escalate the
you.
complaint above.
They will
Right.
not tell you. So if there's not a higher level than that number, um, like I said before, email and repeated calls are going to be the only way this is going to get through to anybody. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's not just going to be us. We have to encourage other people who are also dissatisfied and feel like the only way it makes them feel better is just by complaining about it to actually do something.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need to get on the bandwagon with this. And like I said
Yeah.
before, I'm not breeding like a band of keyboard warriors or anybody to threaten anybody. Please do not threaten anybody. Please do not,
Don't break the law.
yeah, don't break the law.
Yeah.
The thing here is to voice your concerns professionally.
Yep.
And that's
Give them concrete examples. Like,
the
don't.
reason it
Yeah.
doesn't work is because
Hmm.
people do not do it.
Yeah.
And we
People
rely
are
on
complacent.
we rely too much on the people above us. We need to voice our concerns.
Yep.
Okay. We are people
Yeah.
too. We are. I. You're not my real dad. Don't tell me what to do.
This is gonna be network. I'm
Hey,
gonna stick my
if
head
you
out the
want,
window and say,
if you
I'm a,
want,
I'm a
if you want
human
your,
being.
if
I'm
you want your
mad as
desserts,
hell. I'm not gonna take it anymore.
damn it! If you want your desserts, you'll give them a call. Damn it! Go to your room.
Uh, I want to go to space. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah. So, but
But yeah,
Kurgan,
one person does it. They can write that guy off.
yeah,
He's just some crazy guy. Okay, 10 people do it, 100 people, 1,000 people, million people.
yeah.
Changes happen.
Like I said before, it's something. Kurgan, if you are editing this for YouTube, please put those links in the YouTube video too. Please.
Yes. Yep.
Please. You can also probably edit the black bars for anything as well. If I don't get to it. Anyway, that's all I got. Do you have anything else for our folks at home?
Sub to Amalgamash, Ash Quest.
Yeah. Well,
Check
like I
him
said,
out.
yes. Shout outs to Amalgamash.
Yeah.
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 I'd
But
like to get him
we're
back
gonna.
on the show sometime. So
Yeah.
I want to let him know
We've.
let him know we're calling him out. We're calling him out again.
Yep.
Here's
Yep.
us
Yep.
shouting out to him. Let him know what we told him. If we don't get to him first, that's a
And
big
he's
thing.
doing long
Is
form videos too.
yeah.
I'm pleased to see that.
Um,
Yeah.
like to get a hold of
Well,
him again. I do have him on
I've been.
Discord. I should probably just message him at this point. I'm
Yeah.
so
I've
busy and
been.
I get
I've
so
been
caught.
buying a lot of Mattel toys lately. Kind
Oh
of
yeah,
interesting.
Barbie. You a
Mattel.
Barbie fan, are you?
No, actually, well, and I even told Chris about this, and he was like, Mattel. This is when he was still with them. Heroescape, like, is not being sold anymore, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
Renegade Studio is gonna bring it back at some point in the future. But Mattel has this mini micro collection, and they sell them at dollar stores, and they have them for all these licensed products: Transformers, Power Rangers, Incredibles, Jurassic World, Justice League, all this stuff, Kung Fu Panda, but they're the exact right size and scale for Heroescape. So I was like, oh, this is not a Hasbro product. This is their rival, Mattel, but it's like the perfect thing. So it's like Mattel is basically getting Heroescape money until Heroescape comes back, which I think is kind of funny.
Oh
But I
hey,
was trying to tell Chris, like, you guys should make a deal with them, like, or something.
um, real quick, what you were saying they had a movie company they were they
I
were
do have,
selling off. Was that a legit?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, was
And
it
there are
was it
Barbie
Allspark?
Mattel figures. Um, the one who made the Transformers.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, because they had a movie company that um because I
but it's
think all
called
they
something else.
because I think all they
It's a
did was the
bigger.
Transformers movies, right?
It's called Entertainment One Film and Television,
Okay, hold on.
or E1 TV.
Is that who's buying them?
Excuse me. Okay, who did they sell it to though?
No, what's the company that's being bought?
It's E1.
Is it buying Hasbro's? Like, what's the studio that's
Okay, so it's called E1
oh
ONE, and they
Lionsgate. Okay, I got
sold to
turned around. So
Lionsgate. Yeah,
Lionsgate's
yeah, yeah.
acquiring E1. Okay,
Lionsgate
gotcha.
is a film company buying it from Hasbro. So they sold it
Okay,
off, and this was the company that was connected with Transformers, and I think the D&D movie that came out
I see.
recently as well.
That was actually a funny movie. My kids love that.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
might I
people
might
liked
be
it,
I might be really cheesy, but
but apparently it underperformed. Well, what you got to do when you watch it
so
is not think of it as a fantasy film, and just think of it as people
I think
LARPing,
it's
basically.
just I just they thought of it was based off the universe, but like okay,
Yeah.
so
Well, and it's got cheesy comedy, but it's like all throughout the movie, so it's actually better than the Marvel movies where it's like dead serious, and then all of a sudden you get some stupid joke that
so
is out of nowhere.
those are my favorites. Like I love the movies that just don't have like a lot. Like did anybody see Baby Driver?
Never saw it.
Okay, so Baby Driver, if you need to look up the trailer for it. People who don't know what it is, look up the trailer. It was a great. I thought it was a great idea for a film. I'm into movies like that. Or what was that Dracula? Renfield. I thought that was a little
Yeah,
cheesy, but like Renfield, like stuff like that, where it's just like just
it was it was a little much. I think they
a little
needed to dial
different.
it back a little
But
bit,
yeah,
but it had some moments of real brilliance in it too. I was like, huh, I was not expecting
come
that.
on, I'm here, kill me, come on now.
Put the cookie down now. What are you waiting
Shut
for? I'm
up.
here.
Uh,
It's not a tumor.
that's how I feel anymore. Shut up. So yeah, the creator, Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons, and a Peppa Pig film. Let's see, films produced. It's not popping up for me. Hold on. I'm looking it up. Hold on. Entertainment One Films. Um, wow, they did a lot of films. Damn. They've done a whole
Yeah,
lot.
so
Hold on, I'm gonna bring this to the main camera real quick.
there we go.
Um, Hold on. Oops. So it looks like they do children's films too. I'm trying to find Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. A lot of these I don't know. Like Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. I've never heard of Entertainment One though. They just don't stand out. They did the Insidious films.
Hmm.
So Hasbro bought these guys, and they did Insidious. When did Hasbro buy them?
Question.
Because like a lot of these are like well, the ones I'm looking at are like 2015. So did they just now sell the Lionsgate, or in the process as well? That's something I have to look up. But,
The deal closed December 27th, according to
oh, okay,
Wikipedia.
so yeah, they're no longer part of. Yeah, and this is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt, guys.
Yeah,
I had to look up the list, so that's what popped
reliable
up.
sources. Well, their source was Variety magazine.
Yeah, Riddick, Reaper. Yeah,
Also,
a lot of
E1
horror baby and a lot of horror baby and or kids and
E1 has been around for ages, but
oh,
it changed it's changed its name a lot. Like it was around in the 70s, but like the company we think of is like 2009. Again, according to Wikipedia.
it's called E1, or was it was it changed to?
Well, it was E1 Okay, let's see. It was Entertainment One Income Fund from 2005 to 2009. E1 Entertainment from 2009 to 2010. Um, but yeah, it's a long and complicated history. But in some form or another, E1 has been around for 54 years, according to this.
I don't know if
But
they made Transform or was part of Transformers.
maybe that was maybe that was wrong. I mean, Transformers. It says in association with Hasbro.
Yeah, so but they might have had a different studio under that one.
Oh, they were making a Transformers animated film. That's what it was. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, studio credit only. Co-production with Paramount Pictures, Skydance Media, New Republic Pictures, and Die Bonaventure Pictures. Oh, they made The Woman King? Wow. They've actually
Yeah.
done quite a few. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize quite how many of these they were involved with.
Co-financing international distribution deal with Tucker Tully's Productions. Look like they merged with something around 2016. Uh,
Looks like they did a lot of distribution.
yeah,
Romeo and Juliet, Looper.
they did deal with Universal Pictures. Da-da. They acquired a couple studios before 2020, but
A Walk in the Woods. Oh, that sucked. Based on a much better book.
also they were just sold to they were their own company and they were buying out other studios since 2007. So 2007 they bought a lot of stuff. They even bought out. Did they get Peppa Pig? It looks like they bought Peppa Pig and now operates as E1 UK.
Midway.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah,
okay,
I've
sorry,
heard a lot of these.
we're getting really into this, guys. Sorry. It looks like they were sold to Hasbro in 2019, so Hasbro didn't use them for very long. Which they made their one Transformers movie with, I guess.
They were making a Monopoly movie. What the heck?
So they made like a couple films and then sold. They ended up selling their music group while with Hasbro, and then they just got sold to Lionsgate, which they were planning to back in 2022. All right, cool. Yeah, that's looks like after their sale to Hasbro, they were maybe had a bad run during COVID or something because of the film. So who knows? But yeah, anyway, um, that's all I've got for tonight um, as far as Hasbro goes. If you have any final comments, I'm gonna see what's new and what's bad in Star Wars lately.
Yeah, my Wandering Monk came today finally.
Your Wandering Monk, like a piece.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was the Hero Collection, the Wandering Monk. So I got it early, and then I gifted it to a friend, and then so I bought it again because I still wanted it. So yeah, yep. I don't know though. If the next HeroQuest products they come up with are like weird or mediocre, I'm probably not going to get them like at all. But we'll see what happens. Like My Little Pony Quest. Even though I'm sure there's definitely a demographic for that out there. And they're not all little girls either. Nighty Nightmares, kids. Ribby says, and I quote, "Well, I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it in your stomach."
Oh no. Yeah, see, all I had to do is type in what's new in Star Wars controversy, and it looks like we got some issues.
Oh man.
Here we go. So next in the next our next big or new segment called What's Bad in Star Wars.
Is Grand
Lots
Admiral
of
Thrawn
wait, whoa, what?
buying
Lots
out
of
the New
Ruby,
Republic?
hold up, stop. Let's take a stop. Lots of bronies in the HeroQuest community. How did you know that? What?
I don't know about that. I'm definitely not one of them. I don't know. There's some people I'm sure they'll out themselves, but
So I'm just fact checking this real quick because there's one article by Forbes here, and then
percentage of bronies growing rapidly.
go ahead and just double check this real quick. But it's like a top thing going on. So just Forbes has this. No other
Not
big
to open another can of worms, but isn't Harvey Weinstein's assistant the new director on one of the Star Wars projects? Is that what they're talking about?
We can look it up here real quick. This might be hooked to it, but who knows? Let me read this real quick. So this just in as of today, I think I've got this right. Yesterday. As of yesterday, this this is a political comment, kind of. So just take this as I'm reading it, please, guys.
Yeah, it's just reading it.
Upcoming Star Wars film attacked as woke by right-wing critics over director's feminist comments. It's Forbes. So, yeah, this was what was new in our Star Wars controversy.
That's always a good move. It's like you have to agree with our specific politics to buy our product.
I love how it's not a neutral. Yeah.
Some of these articles I feel like they're writing it just to get views. But I mean, I guess they're covering something that happened, but it's just like, yeah, what are they?
So
they're trying to get you mad about something.
So this is what they're just picking out all the weird stuff here.
It's like they enjoy losing money. Well,
We're losing money because of the political side. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's good stuff.
Well, I mean, some people are maybe more well known for being, I don't know, lightning
Well,
rods for controversy as opposed to talented. So
that's good. At
that's
least
and that,
I
it's
typed
like,
in
yeah,
I
you
ty-
get publicity.
I typed in controversy in that, and then that was all that popped up. So at least we're not getting any like weird hatred or you know
Well,
bullcrap. But here we've got a list of Star Wars stuff. I'll give you guys some updates on. Um, Let me go ahead and pop this up right now. Got what's new. Don't really want to go to starwars.com though, because I feel like that's gonna pop up with a whole bunch of sounds and DMCA. So I guess my only in and
Audio
out site.
Jungle.
Yeah, IGN. Um,
I remember the Force.net. That was the
and
place
I
for a
miss
while,
that. I miss
and it
that so
kind of
much.
it became a place like I don't want to be there because it was just like I don't know. It was like if you don't have the right views about
Yeah,
Star
dude.
Wars, you don't
I
belong here.
I guess Charmin a bit avoid Chinoy is getting hit with some stuff. I guess I don't know why, but um, let's see. Big Disney is doing that for brag rights. Doing what? Oh, the what are you talking about? The controversy? I'm just looking at upcoming Star Wars films. Why is it not giving me that anymore? It does like lose money. Yeah, probably. But they're not losing money though. Like I said, man, we may not be watching Star Wars anymore, or we may have been reduced,
Well,
but like kids, man, are
I
all
feel like
over that. Kids and like
well, I feel
still
like
the hardcore, the
it,
really
it's
hardcore
not that
fans.
they're losing money. It's just that they're not gaining momentum as fast as they want to. They're not growing enough.
I still don't
But
think that's true completely, man. I mean,
no.
it's not like it's not blowing up like it used to be, but
Supposedly,
like I said, they're
well,
still
they've.
getting,
I mean, you could say it's not because of Star Wars, but
or they're
they
investing
closed
in it, like I said before, with like kids,
like
like
they
still
closed
when they
down
grow up.
the Galactic Cruiser thing and the Galaxy's Edge. They've scaled back. So, but I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's their
probably.
theme park stuff. That may have
Okay,
just
so I've
yeah.
been corrected, but I still think they're probably
They keep
investing in
canceling
this.
projects.
So,
Yeah, they'll advertise a project and then they'll cancel it, or they'll just
but
indefinitely
but
put it on hold.
but think of all the crap they keep releasing. Of course, Disney's
Yeah,
gonna lose money on like it's crazy. All right, so
it,
we've got upcoming stuff. This is, of course, total film, but I've cited two sources, so we should be okay.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. What if
and you see how
Disney just went
blank?
down in flames and it's like the
See how
people that
blank
made
my
all the
page is?
decisions will be fine?
You see how blank my page is? If I go and get rid of that nice ad blocker I got going on,
Oh yeah,
it's
you know,
gonna
ad
pop up with
blockers
a
are
whole bunch of
great.
crap.
I say God bless those ad blockers.
So we've got what a couple release dates: May 22nd, December 18th, and December 17th. Okay, we got two things coming out. When is this? Ray movie. Are they gonna have Daisy Ridley? Because last I thought she was not interested at all. I mean, I guess enough
Oh
money will
no,
get you interested, but
she's ready. She's coming back in a
is
big
she?
way.
Did she state
Suppose
anything on it?
I don't know. Just
Um,
I it was
and
hard for me to pay attention, to be honest. Like that's how disinterested I am.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
nothing against her, but it's just
well, yeah,
it.
but a lot of haters still use that like interview from when she was on like late night and she was just dogging it. How like they
Oh
didn't give her any direction in the Rise of Skywalker, and they were like, "Oh, you're this, but now you're this," and I was like, "Man, I get
yeah.
tired of seeing that
Well,
because
it's like Harrison Ford. Like he spent like what 30 years talking about how hokey Star Wars was and how sick of it he was, and then
okay,
the money was right and he was
yeah, they
back.
give him like 100
Joey,
million or
we're
more, something like
home.
that. Yeah, more money than he'll ever know what to do with. Uh,
Like, well, at
so
least they killed off my character. Oh,
so
never mind. See you
so the
around, kid.
release date here is unknown, I guess. So they're just shooting shit off for hype. A new movie's coming that will focus on Rey. Film will be set after the Rise of Skywalker. We'll see Rey rebuilding the Jedi Order. It'll be directed by Charmin. I hope I got this right. Charmin Obaid Chinoy. Chinoy. I don't know. Who helmed the Miss Marvel episodes 4 and 5. So she has no actual movies under her belt. I don't know. Hold on. Let me actually look this up. And do my homework live on the Rantcast, please. That's what we're gonna do.
Yep. Homework cast.
Homework
Yeah.
cast. So do we have anything? Not Wikipedia, please. We'll just use IMDb, I guess. The director is trash. Oh, Ribby's already on it.
She AI generated.
So I guess she's.
What if these people
I guess
don't
the hatred
exist?
is known, huh? So
What if
she's known for.
what if these folks don't actually exist? They're just AI generated, so they can direct all the hate towards just, oh, we didn't do it. It was the
So she's a
it was the
producer for
machine learning.
24. She's directed 18. She's written 4. None of these. I know none of these things. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, just because you're unknown doesn't mean you can't do something good. I mean,
No,
look at
but you do
Peter
need to have.
Jackson. You know,
You do need to
he
have
just made
some
some
things.
cheesy horror movies. Yeah, but you need some experience. Yeah, and if you're presented as, okay, this is someone who doesn't really care about Star Wars, and they're just using it as a vehicle to prop themselves up,
Where's her
it doesn't
director
sound.
stuff? There's producer,
Yeah.
but where's the directed stuff that she did? Let's take producer out. Right, where's her directed stuff? Previous.
Oh,
Okay.
this is the new Jedi Order. What the heck? Oh no, it's gonna be the Yuzang Vong, and
No.
Chewie's gonna get crushed
Hold
by
on.
him. No,
Hold on.
it's
Let's take a breather. Because that's different. That's the one that's been announced, right? We haven't even gotten to that one yet. So, Untitled Star Wars Obeyed Chinoy Project, right here, pre-production. That's the one we're looking at. But I'm looking at. He says useless dumb fuck. Why, Ribby? Why are we hating on her now? Because I don't know any of her stuff. It doesn't look like she. Besides Miss Marvel, it doesn't look like she does a lot of fiction. Oh, there's one.
I don't know either.
This does not look like it was a good pick. I mean, if she's directing, I mean, who knows, right? I feel like Disney does this a lot. They just pick people like, hey, you look like you've done some good work. Here you go. You don't have any prior experience in like.
I also know
in any
that
of this genre. So
some of these directors they'll say stuff, but it has nothing to do with the movie they created. So it's like you might say, "Gee, this person's like a real jerk," but the movie was fine.
Miss Marvel.
But then
sucks.
why
Oh, okay.
why would you go out of your way to project that?
No, Bohemian Harrison is not. He is indie in real life. That guy would hug his indie costume all day if they would let him. But his young wife has to haul him away in a wheelchair and change his diaper instead.
Oh, but you get what he's saying though.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
You know, he's not in it for your revolution, man. He's not in it for you. He expects to be well paid.
He's in it for the money. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She gave an interview
pretty good.
where she
Pretty good
said
to
her
fight.
goal was to make men uncomfortable. Oh boy. Okay. So that's why this is
okay.
controversial.
So half your customers shouldn't buy your products. Is that what you're saying?
Here's a nice little message. I was actually mildly looking forward to this, and even though I didn't know any of her work, I was about to say, well, you never know because you never know about her. I really hope that wasn't actually said, and you know, great. I find that uncomfortable personally. Like that's really unnecessary. I understand there are some really stupid dudes in the world, but it.
Yeah, make men uncomfortable, not like, I don't know.
I would really just like to watch some Star Wars. Why do I have to? Yeah. Why do I have to? Why do I have to listen to a political message, like a real to life political message? Like the prequels because had politics in them, but like they weren't like. Yeah, it was just weird. Oh boy. Yeah. Go ahead and link the interview.
Maybe
we'll look at it.
If you make a political thing, only a few people are going to look at it. But if you squeeze it into your mainstream entertainment thing, everybody will listen. Or alternately, they'll go, I don't want to be lectured on this stuff.
You can link it in chat, Ribby. Don't worry about it. Unless Kurgan has not allowed links in chat.
No, go ahead. You can link it. Post it.
Watchmen showrunner Damon Lindelof, the Strain executive, story editor Jason Gibson were originally attached to write, but exited the project, Stephen Knight is working on a screenplay instead. Kathleen Kennedy, previously saying the script is weeks away. Yeah, no, for real. I'm not done with Star Wars. I'm just not done with. I'm just done with new stuff. You know what I mean? I don't particularly like. Okay, this is memology, is what we're crediting here. Is this the interview? Just the interview?
What is the balance of
Audio
activating a force for change, but also trying to
Yeah, in our last
permeate
video, I had to
that
blot out the music.
patriarchy,
Sorry,
that
Tom
power
Petty. Rest in
structure?
peace.
And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well?
Is that Jon
And what's
Stewart?
been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to
Meryl Streep,
make
and I don't know
men
who those other two
uncomfortable.
people are.
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Not
What
you.
is this? When was this? This is 2015. Okay. Ribby, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take that as I'm gonna take that with face value. Okay? We're just gonna go ahead and take that with face value. I don't think she's a particular fit for this script because of her experience. But whatever. I'll let you guys know what it's like on Disney Plus if I even make it through the movie. But like I said, I don't think she's a particular fit. Only for the experience I see on the resume, right? I think if you're picking a Star Wars film, like a film, right, a big film, that you should probably pick somebody who's either had prior experience, or for a director, or you should pick somebody who has like at least something in, I don't know, probably sci-fi, and not something that rises your political statement, right? That interview was like what, 8 years ago. I don't I like I said, I'm gonna take it for face value. Like maybe she is, an activist. She's got her own political like views, but I'm going to be neutral here only for the fact that that wasn't said during an interview for the film. So, I mean, whatever. She likes making. I mean, if she's just fucking around, but it just her body language and stuff just seemed like she was kind of like she's serious, but she's not like. It's not like it's her like fucking life goal to put men down. So, I mean, not that I give a shit, but like at the same time, it's Sorry, did I lose you, Kurgan? Are you still there?
No, I'm just
Okay.
listening. I was trying to just think of what to say about it because
Movie connects to Star Wars. We're 15 years out, post-war, post-First Order. Once again, the Jedi are in disarray. Can we not do that, please?
Yeah.
Can we do like personal problems? Can we do personal problems? I mean, you're rebuilding the Jedi Order, right? So.
Yeah. Why don't we get to see that? It's always reset. It's like okay, and then the Jedi Order has collapsed again, and the Empire has taken over again, and the rebels are running away.
Also,
I mean, Lucas took a risk. It's like, oh, all of a sudden we're in the Republic era. Like everything's totally different.
I don't particularly think that not a lot of people should still know what Jedi are, or at least what Sith were.
Yeah.
Or a general overview of what a Jedi is, because the war.
That was a problem with the original
Wars
story. Like
were what 40 years prior, 40 to 60 years prior. And
Lucas made a mistake. He made the gap between the Empire taking over and the Republic so small that it was like it didn't make sense that nobody knew. Like people forgot who the Jedi were like right away, like instantly.
Anyway,
like the propaganda was that good? No, it wasn't.
No, but like
because
I'm
then
gonna say
Disney carries it on and says, "Oh, well, the Jedi were here until like last week."
No, I'm going to say that because of how Disney put it in now, because I'm looking at the Disney stuff, right? Between pre original trilogy and post original trilogy now, there has been so many lightsabers. And I mean, like post original trilogy, not so much, but like there's been enough lightsabers that like somebody has seen them, and like it's not a tail, just a regular tail. Maybe during the the First Order times, but like, there's going to be an old person and enough
Well,
like background somewhere.
yeah, Chewbacca, Yoda. I mean, those people were around. So there is an explanation for this, but I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work. So fans will say this. They'll say, "Listen, there's only 10,000 Jedi in a galaxy of what? How many quadrillion,
Ooh.
beings?" But the problem is, if you read the novels, the official novels for the movies, they talk about how like little kids in like far off planets like knew who Anakin and Obi-Wan were and like followed their adventures like on the HoloNet or whatever. So like the general public knew who the Jedi were. They were like household names.
Yeah.
And so you're supposed to just imagine that rather than the fan explanation, which is saying, well, yeah, there's so few Jedi, like people probably go their entire lives and never hear about one. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, I don't know. It's like erasing a sports team like from history. Like no one's ever heard of them. Like really? Not at all. Or like no one's ever heard of the sport either. Like football, what's that? Never heard of it before. It's like you grew up playing football in high school. Oh, I don't remember that.
Also,
It was too long ago.
more for me,
What?
it's like kind of similar to that, and then like people just forgetting altogether what it was. Like, younger people might not know what it is completely. It's like a dance, like maybe like a dance move or something. But there's going to be older people and like
Yeah.
people like mildly young that would recognize it or
It would
say
it
it's in
would
a
make
book somewhere. Like
it would make more sense if people remember the Jedi, but because of the
Bohemians,
propaganda, they
dude.
but I get what he's trying to say is it would be like the people would remember the Jedi but they would like follow some distorted version of it. They'd say yeah the Jedi, but then
But the
they had
concept
that
is
big
there,
scandal. They got
right?
convicted of all those crimes and they betrayed the
So
Republic. So
once again,
too
the
bad.
concept is there, and like keep in
Yeah.
mind, Luke was training Jedi around and between 6 and 7, or yeah, 6 and 7. So,
Right.
um, this one we have a James Mangold. See, another unknown movie, right? I've probably mentioned this before in a previous Rantcast. So I'm not going to state this here, but James Mangold is working on a film that will be set thousands of years in the past. Oh boy. Um, Another area that we've already covered that was perfectly fine. First started talking to Kathleen Kennedy about doing one of these pictures. It occurred to me to see what kind of genre movie if the Star Wars I wanted to do. A biblical epic. Have you not like played KOTOR or you know even looked at the Old Republic or I mean that's 2,500 years. I mean you can even take something from that. Please don't rip it off. That's a really good section of Star Wars lore that like I mean it's not I don't think it's canon anymore, but it's still really good. High Republic. Wonderful.
Yeah, they were high
Yeah.
when they wrote about that Republic.
Yeah. That's why they call them the High Republic. It was the dance times. It was the THC times.
Oh yes, the dance party.
Yes.
Whatever that our all knots that did that.
Yeah.
They had
Well,
they
it's a
had
Z
the
move.
YouTube video where they
Um,
dubbed over Obi-Wan's adventures as
they
a
can't call it
dance.
the Old Republic anymore. Yeah, I thought the High Republic was supposed to be like 7,000. Oh yeah, never mind. They're going. Man, this is why I really miss my my
Well, Lucas changed it to 1,000
I
years.
miss my chronology
Yeah,
token because I still haven't read from
twenty-five
that anymore.
thousand
Like
years.
because like I
Yeah.
used to on my stream, if you paid a certain amount of like bus tokens, not real money, but like if you use the bus tokens on stream, I would read like a chapter or two of the chronology. And
Yep.
there was somebody, I think it was Ministerieth, who really wanted like every time he got on, he would do that. And
Oh yeah.
we're about a
Cash
quarter way
in.
through. Like yeah, we're like right after Kotor right now. And man, it was so nice. Do you get a refresher on that? But that covers everything like pre Disney because my chronology is pre Disney. I'll even go grab
Yeah.
it. But
Well,
like it's all the way from the beginning pre hyperspace to like the Jason, Jaina, and Anakin Solo time. So it was very nice. So James Mangold is known for Logan. I don't know what Ford versus Ferrari is, but I'm guessing it's a documentary. The Dial of
No,
Destiny.
no, it was a dramatic movie. I didn't see it, but it was about the competition between the two car companies and like
And Walk the
racing.
Line. So, from
I saw
critics, these three I guess are really great. Dial of Destiny got some mediocre poop
I
fart
didn't like.
review.
I did not finish Logan. I didn't like it,
You
but
didn't like
I guess
Logan, bro.
nope.
We are done professionally. What is wrong
Yep.
with you?
If you're
Oh,
still
hold on,
here, you're still employed, come back.
hold on. Nope, hold on. See, now I gotta open up a new tab. I
Yeah.
gotta move
The
it all
problem
the way
is
the
is
hell
because
over there. Oh,
I'm not a true X-Men fan.
hold on. Nope, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Visual jungle.
And now we're just gonna, yep. Now we're just gonna.
I'm fucking serious. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. But I don't fucking cut it when you're bullshitting and fucking around like this on set.
Rantcast.
Yeah, you might get it. He doesn't fucking get it.
I get it.
You
We just need
might.
that on the
He
soundboard.
does
I keep
not
talking about
get
it, but
Good
you need to do it.
adjustments, okay? For real. Honestly, I get it.
Rantcast.
No, I don't need any fucking walking. He needs to stop walking.
I get that.
I ain't the
Just
one
stop
walking. Let's get Tom and put this back on. Let's go again. Seriously.
Anyway, we are done professionally. Ribby 2. Come on, man.
Ah, Ribby, taking my side. Yes. I have a
Anyway.
different view than a lot of people on superhero movies.
See,
Like I want them to be serious, but I want them to be like
I
heroic
could've-
and the grim dark future where there's only, dead
No, I didn't think it was
heroes.
mind blowing either. But I could have had the superhero goggles on at the time. But I'm a huge fan of Hugh Jackman. No, Hugh Jackman. But
Huge jacked man.
yeah, and Wolverine is a decent character in the X-Men franchise. So
Yeah,
around that time they were doing them, like prior to the time travel crap. I liked most of the Wolverine movies, like the Wolverine and Logan were really good. The X-Men movies I could have taken or left them, except like the original one was not was cool. It's a little bit edgy now, like it's like really cheesy, but
I like it.
but yeah, like it was kind of around the time when I was more tolerable of like those movies kind of coming out a lot more, but
Yeah.
I did
They hadn't
enjoy
overstayed
Logan.
their welcome.
Logan was really good, and it was also like one of those
Well-
things where they finally tried to put an end to a character, like before Deadpool kept trying to bring the character back. So, this is around the time when we were kind of getting a lot of other superhero characters, and then like, Mr. Jackman
if
was
you're
kind of done with him. So
if you're true to the comics, you're gonna keep a character never stays dead forever. They just come back in
but
another
like
form.
this was like not the comics either, and that was what was good about it. Now they're just bringing every IP back to life, and it's kind of stupid. This one is now listed for because he's director, right? Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. So in here, and I don't know if it's because of the date. What's the date on this article? December 6th. So something could have changed because it just says unknown. I don't think they have the title here, but the title for this one looks like it is stated to be, hold on, Dawn of the Jedi. So,
Directed by Zack Snyder. Just kidding.
oh boy. Greatest Showman, which I heard was really good.
Did you hear Rebel Moon? He originally Zack Snyder was going to do a Star Wars movie, but he got turned down, so he just made his own generic sci-fi movie.
Absolutely.
And people were ripping on it. But it's like, but would it really have been any better if it was Star Wars? Is the only thing.
Looks like he does some writing of his own too, so he writes and directs the film usually. It looks like, but so I mean that looks like it might be somewhat promising as long as they give him the control he needs. We've got Dave Filoni, of course, because that guy just can't do enough. The savior of Star Wars is here. He will helm a live-action Star Wars movie, bring together Disney Plus shows. So it's going to bring together Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and the Book of Boba Fett together. It will take place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
The cowboy hat is the source of his power. If you take that away, he's got nothing.
Yep. It's his creative force. It drains the souls out of every living being around him.
Oh yeah, people were ripping on his wife. They were saying that like she's giving him bad ideas and that he's gonna ruin everything.
It's her hat that does that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's her hat. Her hat versus his hat. So
looks like he might be doing a season 2 of Ahsoka. So wonderful. Anyway, Taika Waititi, the guy who didn't know Natalie Portman was in Star Wars, is doing a Star Wars movie.
he didn't know she was in it.
Yeah, you don't remember this? Oh, come on, man.
Oh crap! I mean,
Yeah,
I
hold on.
remember somebody did that, but I didn't know that was him. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, see,
Okay, let's
hold on.
dig up the clip where he owns himself.
See, right here. There's this one. There's this one. So these are legit. These are all sources. So I'll just pull off the top. So Taika Waititi asked Natalie Portman, "Have you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars movie?" This was a couple years ago.
Dang.
Almost a couple years ago. This is around the time he was doing Love and Thunder, right? So, but it was really funny.
Man.
So he can't. I guess they were using the excuse there's too many Star Wars movies for him to keep straight. But after wrapping the third Thor
I'm
film,
like cringing for him. Like,
with Portman reprising her character Jane Foster, Waititi asked if she'd be willing to star in his Star Wars movie. You know, after she famously portrayed Princess Leia's mother, Padme Amidala, in Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Natalie said to me, "What do you do next?" And I said, "I'm trying to work on a Star Wars thing. Have you ever wanted to be in a Star Wars movie?" She said, "I've been in Star Wars movies." And
you don't understand, Ms. You don't understand, Ms. Portman. I can make you famous. Yeah. Like, what?
He's so
what
unserious. Oh, okay. Well, then that might be the case, but it's just really funny because to me that's what he's known for now. So
okay. So if you think he was joking, he was trolling her.
Yeah, I should have looked him up. Oops. Because
like he's pretending I don't know who you are.
With him, and I've probably seen his movies, but I'm very unfamiliar.
Jojo Rabbit. That's the only one I've seen.
And people are going to laugh at me, but
yeah.
Oh, What We Do in the Shadows. Okay, so I've done that. Jojo Rabbit. Yep. Reservation Talks. So he's producing. He did producer. Yeah, so just kind of browsing. And then he writes what he's going to write. And so he's going to be writing the film. Will not have a producer for the film. Or you're not going to be producing the film. Flash Gordon. So, I mean, yeah.
I guess it's not as embarrassing as the time Jennifer Lawrence said that she was like the first female superhero or something. The first
protagonist is a farm girl for what? Jojo Rabbit or for talking about Star Wars.
Jojo Rabbit was about like the Hitler Youth kid.
Oh, okay. I haven't locked anything in.
The Jewish girl who's like living in this house, hiding.
But this is another Tatooine film. I'm done. So he wants the film to be in the spirit of the original trilogy. So he's been developing it for a few years.
So copy it. That's how you're in the spirit of the original trilogy, is to copy it.
Tied to a Time Bandits reboot. Oh boy. Oh, Rebel Moon. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Bohemians. And then we got Sean Levy. It's released. All these are unknown. What the fuck? I need to start paying attention to the IMDb because maybe that's it. Sean Levy has Star Wars movie in the works. Project won't enter production until Deadpool 3. So this isn't even like, we don't even need to be looking at this. Because Deadpool 3 I don't think is done yet. And Stranger Things Season 5 have wrapped up. Oh boy. No update about the film. Yeah, we're not even gonna look at this guy right now. This is something that we're probably not even looking for till like what? If the other ones were 2026 and 2027, this is like he's like the backup dude. Lando. Oh, Donald Glover, huh?
Old
Donald.
dong lover.
Yep.
You were gonna say it. I would just said it for you.
Donald G. Lover.
It's like I made it through high school and nobody realized my name was Dong Lover.
That's a real stretch sometimes, though. Gave an update. I never say never. Certainly not something we're doing with any intention right now. Still talking about Lando. Blah blah. He's very excited about it. So this is a film or series?
Time Bandits reboot. What?
So what is it? I don't know if it's gonna be a series or a film, but we might look it up. Project. Okay, from a movie to a show. So it's going to a show, of course, because there's gonna be more of it. You know, there can never be enough. Oh boy. Look at that. Does everybody see that? I'll make it bigger for you if you don't. Yeah, here, we'll make it real big.
So his head is big and round.
Everybody looking forward to that? I know you are. I absolutely know. I know you all
Directed
are.
by Ryan Johnson.
It'll be the best Star Wars movie ever made. That was just okay.
It's pretty okay, I guess.
Yep. The Last Jedi. Director Ryan Johnson must have impressed someone at Lucasfilm. Did he? Were they drunk and high and also like facing the other direction? Featuring new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never before explored. And even though The Last Jedi shows it was divisive among Star Wars faithful, Johnson's still on board.
See, he planned it that way. It was intentional.
And that's what makes me like this guy. He was hit hard with all the crap, and he's still ready to go do stuff. So yeah. I didn't mind Knives Out. I haven't seen his Netflix Knives Out stuff. He has a basketball head. I like how out of all of that, Ribby just came out with a basketball head.
It's like what was that show? Hey Arnold. It's like football head.
But yeah, so looks like, you know, once again, if he can have fun doing whatever he wants to do, and then, you know, whatever. Like I said, I still thought it was okay. It was just okay. There were parts of it I really didn't like, and I thought it was kind of on the downhill from there on. But I could probably still watch The Last Jedi and tolerate it. There are a lot of people who can't.
Myself.
like I said, it's.
I mean, I didn't walk out of the theater. I watched it to the end, but it was just like, nope.
I don't watch it anymore because it leads to The Rise of Skywalker, which is even more of a shit show. And like this would leave it at like a cliffhanger. And if you just watch The Force Awakens, you can pretty much consider that an ending. Pretty much.
Yeah, these didn't need to be movies.
I mean, I guess
could have been just comic books or like RPG scenarios or video game.
No, never mind. You can't consider that an ending because of the lightsaber thing. But you could just go on your own adventure from there. But you can watch The Last Jedi and then you could just consider it an ending, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Broom Boy.
Death blow arrives at the end. Yeah, there were, like I said, the Leia space witch thing and the hyperspace bullshit was kind of weird, but it was a lot better than what did they say in The Rise of Skywalker? Hyperspace jumping?
What
the fuck?
Hyperspace skipping or something?
Yeah, Jesus.
Well, they basically it's like so many other things. They kept one-upping it. So hyperspace works differently in every movie, and they keep adding more things. And the Force works differently in each movie, and they can keep adding to it. So it just becomes like, oh, it's just a plot convenience. It could be anything. Like there's no rules. As if we didn't have all these other movies and lore before that. Like they don't have that kind of freedom, or if they want to give themselves that freedom, they have to, I don't know, sell it a lot better than just, oh yeah, that can just happen now. They fly now.
They fly now. They fly
Like,
now.
dude, they've been flying for like 30 years. Like, that's not a revelation. And it's a weird way to do it. Like, okay, we're gonna have like a speeder bike that has tank treads on it that catapults people into the air, as if you need that to
Hey,
have a jetpack.
if
It's cool. It makes a cool toy. Makes a cool toy. But
Bohemia said they liked the Leia scene. Hey, that's good. I'm glad that somebody did. I just thought that would be a good idea. It would have been a great way for them to end Leia because she died. She died. She actually died, and
He
like
died in real life.
yeah. So
But see, okay, I'm
they
gonna
could have
say this,
they
and
could have rewritten it and probably been
people
fine.
are gonna be offended, but it's like when they made Wakanda Forever. Like, okay, I understand the actor has passed
No,
away, and you
but
want to honor him, but you don't make a movie where you kill off the character he played and make the movie like his funeral.
they
Like,
could have added
it's
her. They could have
dumb.
added her in like
Yeah,
hologram, like with holograms. I don't know. Like they could have done something.
there's a
Um,
million ways they could have, and they could have recast her even.
so here
And I know
from
people don't want to hear that,
starwars.net.
but it's like that's more respectful, I think, than just like editing like
So
clips and then
I
killing her off.
I grabbed this
Yeah,
here. Um, yes, Akbar was killed off screen. That was really stupid. But
yeah.
Star Wars
They
has got announced. So
humiliated the actor too.
this is an official source. So we've got a series coming in 2024. So we've got the Acolyte. Um, Said to be the first time we see the High Republic in live action. So this is a show that has the High Republic in it. Jedi Fest. Oh boy. Amanda Stenberg takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace. If I remember right, 100 years before, and the chronology would have been what? Still just would have been probably the same area, same amount of time. So they're now they're remaking it as the High Republic.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Derpentine
Yeah,
returned.
Serpentine.
The Sith, it's said to depict how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi Order, and will be told from the perspective of the dark side. Oh, okay, so this is going to be Palpatine then, huh?
You returned into Fortnite mod. Oh no.
Oh no! Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, forces character details scarce, blah blah blah. Stenberg's playing the
Maybe
Padawan, and Lee Jung-ye is playing the former Jedi Master. Run for 8 episodes. I wouldn't be surprised if they already made season 2. Wonderful. There's no trailer yet. Skeleton Crew. Jude Law is doing Skeleton Crew. See, we didn't have details for Skeleton Crew last time we talked about it. So, hails from Spider-Man No Way Home, director John Watts. Pitched out in Jon Favreau. Blah blah blah. Chris Ford's co-writer. There's a lot of directors here. It follows a group of kids who find themselves lost in the vastness of the galaxy, trying to find their way home. It takes place the same timeline as The Mandalorian, so this might be interesting because it's like a whole new story. Story doesn't involve all the main shit. So Disney removed it from the schedule because it probably due to the fact that they had to extend its release. So it probably got pushed back. But that's nice. That's nice to know. See, when you forget about all the other Star Wars, you kind of push it in the back of your head. And then there's stuff that comes out like this. I think the last time I announced Skeleton Crew was like early Rantcast days. I was talking about stuff like this. So that's nice. We got Andor was announced to be coming in August. For the SAG strikes. Okay.
Screen Actors Guild, yeah.
So Andor's next season got moved to 2025. Wow. It was pushed back that bad.
Yeah,
You got
Skeleton Crew was a Sega Genesis game. It had nothing to do with it. So.
Bad Batch Season 3. Third and final adventure this year. Doesn't know when it's saying it's going to be out. December, around January. Okay. So they haven't stated when it's going to be released. It was supposed to be December, but who knows? Wow, they're really just not keeping people updated. They said that they were going to be releasing it, but it has not been out. So, okay.
Well, it's like well, I guess that's farther along than the Ryan Johnson trilogy was announced. I swear, like while Last Jedi was still in
Well, they've had
theaters.
so much shit happen. This is what happens when you like just try to stream content all the time and keep
Yeah,
people interested in
we've
your
got
fucking
we've got the next
platform.
20 years of
Save
content.
Mara. Oh, dude, don't bring Mara in this.
We were thinking of like Zack Snyder. It's like,
God.
Mara, why did you say that name? Save Mara.
Tales of the Jedi Season 2. So it's going to have a Season 2. This is kind of interesting. This was a nice little series, too. Kind of reminded me of like the original Clone Wars series. It was just stuff that you like could know or wanted to know if you wanted to know. It was nice. It was nice to have. Outlaws for video games. This looks interesting. We'll see if Ubisoft lives up to any sort of hype. So, and with Ubisoft as shitty as it's been lately, I'm like meh at this point. We're not even gonna look at this one yet.
Oh, what happened to the Game of Thrones guys Star Wars trilogy? Just fucking everyone knows they suck.
Give me LucasArts
That's right.
Outlaws instead. Hey, yo, Kurgan.
Yeah.
I have that game. We could just stream that.
Yeah.
So also, hey, Dark Forces remaster. Remake of the
That's
1995 Dark Forces will be released on PCs and consoles.
And it's not going to interfere with the Force engine either.
I wonder if that's a Night Dive. Oh no, so it's not. The Night Dive's not picking up the Force engine one? This is a whole new remake?
So they looked at each other's notes, but neither one is going to infringe on the other. So there's going to be a commercial Dark Forces remake and this free one that requires you to have the original disc.
This one I have no faith in, and it looks like it got pushed back. So, and it doesn't look like it's going to be out. Has it been pushed back multiple times? And I wonder why. This is the one I'm thinking of. This is the one that had like looks like it's gonna have a bunch of like microtransactions and shit in it. It looks like it's just a bunch of like fucking. This looks like a big multiplayer game.
In-game purchases.
Yep. Mobile gameplay footage.
Yeah. Experience made for an online play. I like how that gun, all the recoil was just in the gun. His body was completely motionless.
Ready to roll.
Got pushed back. So that you know how much faith you have if a mobile game gets pushed back.
It's not Fortnite, it's Force Night. As in Jedi Knight. Get it?
Fortnite. At least Fortnite got innovative and did something other than like, Battle Royale. It might be for the Switch, but this one said mobile gameplay footage, so yeah, it might just be for the Switch right now. But it's not released yet. But this looks like it's gonna be kind of rough. Like, it just looks like a dumbed down Battlefront with heroes.
There's your Fortnite.
Let's go. Time for some fireworks.
All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm personally like very uninterested. So, but if that's your deal, it looked like it was announced this year or last year, but has been pushed back. So, and then these are books. If you're interested in books, nobody's interested in these ones, right? I'm just kidding. You got High Republic, Living Force, and The Glass Abyss.
The Glass of Piss?
Is made like Heroes versus Villains. Pretty much you're going to be playing as... it's an arena-style combat game, so it's not even like Battle Royale, it's just arena-style, like deathmatch maybe, with some like perks. You fight as bounty hunters, rebel heroes, or stormtroopers. So,
wait, they made a Mace Windu game?
No, that's probably for the Glass Abyss. So this is a book, or Essential Legends Collection. So
I was going to say they made a Mace Windu game. I don't think so.
I mean, this is coming from their site, and if they've or a fan site, it's just Star Wars News. So if they are saying there's a lot of unknowns here, you're not in for a lot of not you're in for a lot of unknown, and that's very sad. So
Oh, he's my favorite mode in Battlefront 2 on PS4.
oh yeah, forgot. So
Heroes versus villains.
I could never find anybody fun to play the new one on with. So I always played the classic one, and I grew up playing the classic one. But I enjoyed playing single player on those games, or modding them so that I could play with the original one with bots, like the first Battlefront remake, and then I played co-op on Battlefront 2 sometimes when I could, and then I just played when they released the instant action modes. I played that, and I played the campaign. Campaign was okay. It wasn't anything crazy, but no single player. And in the new one, yes, there was. There totally was. You played as an Imperial secret agent that goes rogue. And in fact, it was incomplete until the whole EA debacle, and then they released the ending to that game. They were gonna make you pay for the ending, make it DLC, because it takes
He
place
says there
during
was no.
the. Oh, there totally is,
Oh.
man. I can pull it up right now.
Huh,
now.
I didn't know that either, but
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't have.
Oops.
I wouldn't have bought that game. Well, I didn't buy it, but I mean, I wouldn't have gotten that game for the single player anyway. I would have gotten it for the multiplayer, but it just wasn't that good.
Because the old Battlefront had
The co-op thing
had great
kind of
single
fun.
player, and had a great
Yeah, it did.
campaign. And then
Yeah,
Inversio,
I don't like the endlessly respawning enemies, but yeah, I played it a lot during the
I didn't
beta,
mind
the
it
public beta.
because the single player for that game was. You're not gonna do anything
I just like
crazy
the feeling.
in those games. It was
I
just
just like
shoot.
the feeling that you could just go anywhere, grab any ship, and just go for it.
Yep.
You know,
with
the
how
trouble
EA did
is, finding a team that would actually work together with you.
With how EA
or
did
just
that,
have an AI that force you to do all the work yourself.
and the fact that we had a Battlefront 3 at one point in time that would have allowed you back in the 360 days to go from planet to space, and
dude,
EA couldn't even do that.
If you haven't seen that video, that Strange Bus did of the Battlefront 3, the amount of stuff that you could do, flying from the planet up into space, and just seeing all the stuff they designed, even though it wasn't finished. It was wow.
Yep.
Back then, that's what they could do, and yeah, we didn't get it. It's that's the sort of thing that I always wanted to see in a Star Wars game.
They just
I would have
repurposed
loved
that for PSP, I think.
Yeah.
Battlefront
PSP.
3. But
Pretty sorry substitute for. Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's okay, Bohemius.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to say.
I might have a. Yeah, I have a link to some gameplay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Because this guy, there's a guy who has gameplay. I don't know if he actually did anything with it, because he says because you could get this, you can actually get this with your a 360 emulator. But he said that he was supposed to be working on restoring this to its full potential, because you can get this game now on the Internet Archive. It's just very incomplete. It's still alpha because it was canceled. But yeah, it's not in great condition. But the way he has it, it looks like he was working on it a little bit. But this is what it looked like. See if he does anything. But the maps were huge, and it's the traditional, conquest. Take over the command points, fight a large amount of enemies. You're on a large map. You can fight on the ground, in the air, or you can fight in space. And
this is part 3.
Each section has capital ships that are fighting, Yeah, and you have to control both lines of combat.
Right. Troops to hold control points.
Yeah, let's see what happens. He's gonna
Win their
put
superiority. Is he actually playing with people?
No, this is the AI, and the AI is extremely buggy.
But still, I mean, just seeing the concepts. Now, is this something that they can edit and make playable, like the Duke Nukem thing?
Well, it's playable right now, and like some parts of the campaign are playable.
Or like make it better.
He said that he was working on making it like a lot better. And he did have a modded version, which I have, but I don't see any major differences.
Yeah, because this was just like, what do they call it, a vertical slice? Or
no, I mean, no, because this was the alpha gameplay. The vertical slice is what they showed off in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
But like his first person is working, mine does not work. Like the first person gets all like busted. Like as you can see, like the AI is not working properly. Like not as well as it should. And like this is Coruscant. Coruscant, I don't know if they have a space like area, but let's see.
We'll just fly through the city. Yeah, it chokes a little bit.
Yeah, but I have the unlocked 60 frames a second version, which when you download the ROM, it is not in 60 frames.
Battlefront 2, they had one mode that you do that to win the struggle to push the conflict inside the capital ship. Yeah, I remember that one. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I was just like, whoa, you can like land in the hangar and like run around. Like I wanted to do that in Jedi Academy, but they never finished it. It was just Siege Star Destroyer. It was just you fly around in ships, and the whole inside area they just nixed it.
Yes, he is.
Because
his recent one was
nobody wanted to do that. But then they did it in Battlefront. Yeah.
Attempting to fix the AI was what his stuff, and he's trying to do cutscenes and stuff. So like this is something that I've been following him on. So I don't know, but I'm trying to see if I can get one where it's like him like flying through space and then coming down, so I could show you like a little bit of a kind of like a teaser. But he's got Hunters. I guess he's got Hunters working on BlueStacks. I didn't know Hunters was released. It says that it's not released. So let me see if this one works.
I know we're not talking about this, but I need to link the Henry Cavill Warhammer thing.
The anime mode that when the struggle pushes the conflict inside the capital ship. Yes, they do, and those were fun. Those were really fun. I just wish they made better AI for those games. They all seemed like it just seemed like depending on what map you're playing on, it was really broken. This is a working.
Makes the link so small you can't see it.
Working campaign. Working campaign mission, I think. So, but I can't get the. I'll just show the trailer for the game after this. But this looks fun. Let me see if I can go here.
There is a separatist uprising on Cato Nemoidia. Should our negotiations fail, we will engage in combat operations as a last resort. You will be divided into two sections, one with me and the other under the command of Master Plo Koon.
This is ridiculous.
This is something he's trying to restore. So
the Jedi rallying us for another battle. They should be using their power as it was meant to be.
And how he's restoring it.
Enough talking.
It reminds me of when Rosh Pennon is like getting in Jaden's face at the beginning of Jedi Academy.
You don't send an ambassador to do a soldier's job. We could defeat them in one swift stroke instead of 1,000.
Do you have personal space in your planet?
Your kind of war, there'll never be lasting peace. Well, if the Jedi or you had any resolve, this war would be over already.
Listen, pal, ain't your pal.
These Jedi would be better used as cloning material. Imagine an army of them under our command. That's how this galaxy should be run.
If any of you guys have played Renegade Squadron, that's what they moved this game to after Free Radical killed it.
Okay, sir.
coming up on the target now. Radar showing multiple anti-aircraft turrets. It's going to get bumpy.
Whoa.
Yeah, this looks a lot better than it did before. Looks like he was just restoring the like cutscene and stuff, but yeah, my Kato no Moria looks way better than this. It's all like bugged out and shit. But yeah, but like how he's recreating the cutscenes is some of the cutscenes are already put together, but the like some of the voices or sound effects are missing. So he will take sound effects from other Battlefront games, or he will recycle them and alter them from the current game, and then he will either voice from his own, from himself, or I think he's might be using partial AI. Who knows? But I know that he was doing some like recycling to get it to work. So, but there hasn't been a released copy, I don't think, of the of his version yet. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's what I got for Star Wars. If I do anything tonight after we're done here, because that's all I've got. If you got anything else if I do anything tonight after, if I do ever like plan on streaming, which it would probably have to be tonight. I am. If anybody's familiar with PlayStation Home from the PS3 days, I'm planning on revitalizing that. I've got a copy of it, so probably either do that or do some like just some small Steam stuff that I picked up. So, but if you'd like to come join me on that adventure, that'd be awesome. Because, like I said, I haven't visited PlayStation Home in a long time. That was like an online service for PS3. So, but the floor
I'm
is
pretty
yours.
tired, but I'll join you for a little bit. Yeah, I don't have really anything else to say. I've said it.
All right.
I've said it.
You said it.
Yeah.
You've said it and done it.
Yep. I shared the link to the Hasbro consumer care, which has a phone number and an email on the Discord as well. So, yeah. Yep.
Dope. Yeah, so anyway, guys, like I've said before, it's all by choice. I'm not telling you like you have to do that, but like I said, if we have issues with stuff, that's how we start by making a change,
Yeah. What are people scared of? That they're going to yell at you? That they're going to ignore you? That they're going to take away your toys? I mean, at worst, they'll ignore you at first, but the more people do it, the harder it is for them to ignore us.
That's right.
And like Bohemia said, it's not just something you're quietly doing in private, not telling anybody. You're saying it publicly, and you're saying it to them directly.
To me, and it might sound might sound a little weird, right? To me, it's almost like you literally just stood there while somebody spat in your face, and that's the truth for me. It's you wouldn't let them do that to you. You wouldn't let somebody screw you out of a deal or make a trade and not honor it. So least you could do is say something. Like, would you let somebody screw you out of a trade if you knew that like they were going to ignore you, or if they had like that's what I'm saying is like you're worth something. So
yeah,
but
yeah, I'm not saying you have to like drop a nuke on their head, but you could just be like, hey, why'd you spit in my face? Like, explain yourself.
Explain yourself. Fool.
And then you just say, hey, look, did everyone see? He just spit in my face. Like, he spit right in my face. Like, why did he do that? Like, people go, yeah, why did he just spit in your face? It's weird. What's wrong with him? Hey, that wasn't cool what you just did. Yeah. It's like a G.I. Joe PSA. But, yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah. So I'll start the new year with something. I was doing some Alan Wake 2. I might pick that back up tonight. It just depends. So we'll see. It's been a little while since I've actually streamed anything. So, if you guys are free or if you're still awake, come hop on by. I'll start my stream.
Man, the amount of sound issues.
So
when you stream, make sure that people can actually hear you and hear what you're wanting them to
Why
hear.
am I low right now or what?
No, you're fine. It's just that I'm just saying for me, like the last couple of streams
Oh.
I've had all kinds of audio problems. And it's not just me. Like when I was at the guest studio, I had much better quality equipment and we still had like quirks and weird things happening. So it was just like constantly checking, make sure, okay, are we really live? Are we really recording? Are we really playing? Are we really not muted? You know, are the batteries good? You got to check those things. So some people make it look easy, but it actually there are a lot of challenges to streaming.
Yeah, there are.
Especially if you don't have like dedicated equipment that's just waiting for your next stream. Like you got to use it for other things in between. So you got to like switch it out and switch it back and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Broadcast. So hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks for joining us. Definitely check out the Strange Bus, Josh's area, and HeroQuest fans with your old buddy Kurgan. Access C3, home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube. Twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. Discord, you've got the bus of Discord. Anything else we need to promote? We gonna raid somebody? We're gonna raid you, aren't we?
If you want, we can always raid
Sure.
the other place. Like,
Yeah. Okay, Sleeping Beauty Syndrome is a bot. Sorry, / not sorry. I was like, you betray me.
okay, 1 second here. Hey, no problem, Bohemius.
Yeah, thanks for contributing, guys. We appreciate you sharing your opinions. And fact checks. Fact check.
Fact checks. Let's see. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and end off podcast here. Yeah, once again, you can catch us. I'll just do this one last time. You can catch me at twitch.tv/thestrangebus. That is twitch.tv/thestrangebus. My Discord should be available through a link if anybody wants it on my Twitch account, and that is the Buzz of Discord. You can find out when I go live there, or by following me on my Twitch account. It's through Kurgan. That is twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. That is twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans, or XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans. And with that, I'm pretty sure all of you guys are on his Discord, but same thing applies to his Discord as well. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you for tuning into the Rantcast podcast. Once again, I am Josh, Strange Bus, and Kurgan.
Broadcast. Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next TheRantCast podcast. Have a great night and or morning, everybody. Take care.
Later.